retail loyalty and holiday cash. Must be current owner of SCA vehicle to qualify for loyalty bonus cash. And SW543907. See delivery details. Expires 1/2/26.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. On a Tuesday, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And look, man, this is the Christmas Eve, as Jason said on the morning show during Crosstalk. This is our last show of the week. We will be back next week, but last show of the week. So we're going to make it a good one. All right, and what better way to make it a good one than to be joined by old friend who used to cover the Kings, Hunter Patterson, who has left for greener pastures. He has left for Detroit, and ever since Hunter's been in Detroit, they've been a winner. So we're going to talk to Hunter at 11 o'clock about being a winner. And those windows, right? We remember well with the Beam team, how those windows open and close so quickly. And you see guys take leaps and you see guys get better and you see teams make certain decisions. So we're talking to Hunter Patterson. That's at 11 o'clock. Okay. At 12 o'clock, we have the roundtable with Chris Watkins and Brendan Nunez. So that's coming up at 12. And what will we be talking about then? Well, we will be going deeper into what we're talking about at 10:30 as Chris Haynes has come out and officially said, I guess for the 15th time, that Malik Monk is available for trade. Now, why are we going to talk about this again? Because the first thing everybody said was, don't we already know that Malik Monk is available for trade? And we do. So why would Chris Haynes, I'm doing the Windhorse fingers here, why would Chris Haynes get this information? Let's not forget, Chris Haynes, the same one that had that report of the team meeting last season when nobody else had it. He gets these little nuggets of information, and there's a reason for that, right? We spent how much time yesterday talking about Malik Monk and how Doug was saying two things, right? How he was talking about a log jam, but also you need to play the right way. And it was always kind of weird that even with other coaching decisions, right, or did not play coaching decision, there are no conversations that happen. It's just the game is the game. They were showing Malik that respect. They had that conversation, but we always knew as soon as that confetti hit in OKC, Malik was on the trade block. So now it's official, and now I think we ask the question, are we going to see Malik play again for the Kings? I mean, if he's already out of the rotation and you're reminding everybody that he's available, why would he play? Again, Zach LaVine is going to come back sooner rather than later, and they do have too many guards. So is this the last time we've seen Malik Monk play in a Kings uniform? That's what we are going to talk about at 10:30. We have that audio for you, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more during the roundtable. So that is what we woke up to this morning, and I was the same as everybody else. Thank you, Chris Haynes. I have been briefed, but we already know this information. But the fact that the Kings are putting it out again and putting it out in a different way, and you'll hear it when he says it, that they are going with Keon Ellis. So, how the tables have turned, right? So now they are making it publicly known. And why would they do that? Because they want a first rounder for Keon Ellis, because they want a former first round pick in a player for Keon Ellis to show the value they have in Keon Ellis, okay? So there's a reason for why all this stuff happens. And that's why I go so hard when this stuff seems to be simplified, because there's always a deeper reason. I got a Christmas hat on now, a Santa hat, but just pretend it's a tinfoil hat, because I'm always going to go a little bit deeper than what's just being said. It's never just as simple as Malik fell out of the rotation. Why do you think he fell out of the rotation? Is it the chicken or the egg? So we got that at 10:30, and then a little bit deeper. Want to get Chris Watkins' thoughts on it, and, of course, Brendan Nunez's thoughts on it. So we have that for you. But I got to start here, man. I got to start here because the San Francisco 49ers, they did it again. They got it done. They were supposed to win that game. They did win that game. Brock Purdy, 295 yards, 5 touchdowns. Anybody got him for your fantasy playoffs? I hope you didn't have to face him. 5 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 117 yards and a receiving touchdown. George Kittle, 115 yards. The Colts, this is why I feel like I'm turning into a Seahawks hater, but I'm really not a Seahawks hater. But it always comes back to the Seahawks because the Colts had them boys strapped up in Seattle. The Colts looked like a legitimate defensive contender in Seattle with everybody's boy Sam Darnold. They had them boys strapped. That was a defensive struggle out there in Seattle. They come to Santa Clara and they go to Indianapolis, and Niners, they were running all over the place. Got to check in on George Kittle's ankle, but they were running all over the place. You had Juwan Jennings get his. Kendrick Bourne, the return of Kendrick Bourne, he got his. It was a party. It was a party out there in Indianapolis. But, it's never that simple. You let Phillip Rivers, dad bod old man Phillip Rivers, slice and dice you for 277. But that's a problem. 277, 2 touchdowns. Now, I had Alec Pierce on my fantasy team, so we headed to the chip. We headed to the championship. So I want to thank the Niners. Even though I had the Niners defense, I want to thank the Niners for that one. But that is what I will say. That was concerning. And, it's funny. Robert Saleh has done such a great job. I do feel like the Niners, I don't want to say they have an opportunistic defense, but it's almost a defense that plays to their competition. I just don't feel like they're going to give up this type of yardage. And they were more concerned. Honestly, it strikes me as maybe this was the game plan. Obviously, the game plan is never to give up 277 and 2 touchdowns to a 44-year-old man. That's never the game plan. But the Niners said, we believe that we can score on the Colts. They can't stop us. And our main goal was to stop Jonathan Taylor. Ramsey, I'm sorry. Your prop talk didn't hit. But they just said, beat us a different way.
Well.
They just said, beat us a different way. And Phillip Rivers tried. And I'll tell you this much. If Phillip Rivers was 43, maybe he hits on that first play to Michael Pittman Jr. If he was still 43 years old, maybe he hits to that deep pass to Josh Downs, who they all balled out. But before I sit there and say, everyone, oh my goodness, Phillip Rivers diced up the Niners, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying the Niners felt like, hey, if you're going to try to beat us through the air, Phillip Rivers, go ahead. But you will not be beating us on the ground because we do think, number one, we can score on you. And number two, at some point, we will make the stops when necessary. And that's exactly what happened. It reminds me of the finals, right? It reminds me of the finals and the different defensive schemes you see in basketball where whether it's Jokic or LeBron, these really good distributors of the basketball, what do other teams do, right? They say, if LeBron wants to go for 50, that's cool. What we can't have is LeBron go for 25, 30, but he's got 10 assists and he's distributing the basketball and getting other guys involved. When Jokic goes for 50, I feel like he's not even happy about it because Jokic would rather go for 30 and 12 and 10 because that gets other guys involved. So I think it was maybe by design. Maybe I'm giving the Niners too much credit, but they loaded the box. They only let Jonathan Taylor get 46 yards, and they said, we will not let you beat us on the ground. If Phillip Rivers is going to throw for 400 yards, then we will lose that way. But we feel like if we let Phillip throw the ball around a little bit, we're going to be okay. Where we're not going to be okay is if they run the ball down our throat. So a lot of people are saying, oh my goodness, the Niners just got diced and sliced by Phillip Rivers. I feel like maybe they were playing the part. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but that was my initial takeaway. Actually, my initial takeaway was that they got cooked and that it was kind of ridiculous. Then I slept on it. Not a lot of sleep because baby number 2 is in her sleep regression, but I slept on it. And when I woke up, I thought, you know what? I feel like this was the Niners' plan. Now, that's not necessarily something they'll fully get into. And I know Kyle Shanahan will be pretty transparent, but there was a level of, you know what? If Phillip Rivers is going to beat us through the air, cool. And that's no disrespect to Phillip Rivers. But that arm only got so many bullets left in it, and he used quite a bit of them last night. Now, I don't know why. You know what was bizarre to me? I don't get this whole, I know the game is over. I know the game is over. But it just bothers me with these white flags that get thrown. Why are you subbing in Riley Leonard down 20 whatever and running the ball 3 times? They ran the ball 3 times, down 20. Riley Leonard got to be thinking, why am I here? Why am I actually here? And I know he was banged up with the knee, but he's back now. Why am I here? We're down 20, right? The Niners, I don't think it's a respect thing. We've seen teams run plays before. There was still, 2 minutes left when they got the ball, something like that. And Riley Leonard just hands the ball off 3 times and then has to throw it to the backup running back, of course, then has to throw it on 4th down. They don't complete it, game over. I don't know why that bothers me, but what is the point of that, right? But what is the point of that? You're just saying, hey, we don't want anybody else to get injured, I guess. They had already taken Phillip out. Let's see Riley do something. 2-minute drill. Come on. Chop, chop. Let's see what you got. So the Niners, they waltz in there to Indianapolis, and they get it done. And now all they got to do is beat Ramsey's Bears and the Sea Chickens, and they're the number 1 seed.
Ain't gonna happen.
The number 1 seed. I mean, that is going to be, for what the games that are left, and I know there's going to be a lot of implications for all these games, but I was reading the Bears, and obviously you helped me out on this, Ramsey. I was reading the Bears. They have to win, obviously. They got to win out, and they need the Seahawks. I don't know if it's just the Seahawks and the Rams. I know it's the Seahawks. They need at least the Seahawks to lose again because obviously.
Yeah, Seahawks got to lose at least one game because the Seahawks are a game up on the Bears at the moment.
Right. So the Bears would beat the Niners and then be rooting for the Niners to beat the Seahawks. And I believe
they'd be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I believe that would be the path to the Bears getting the 1 seed. Mm-hmm. So all the marbles are on the table on Sunday night. Yep. That's what we're talking about, okay?
Sunday night at 5:20.
That's right. That's what we're talking about. And, it's going to be a lot of fun leading up to there. We got terrible Christmas football coming up because no Mahomes and actually the Chiefs, they actually avoided complete disaster because I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but they actually avoided an ACL tear with Gardner Minshew. So Gardner Minshew actually didn't tear his ACL, but I do not think he'll be ready for the Christmas game. So we're looking at Chris Oladokun. Okay, he looks to be the guy on Christmas Day, and there are a couple other games as the Netflix. I was reading this thing how Netflix is losing a bunch of money from these games because all these games are not looking good, so the viewership is just not going to be there. There is obviously more traditional, the NBA basketball slate, which that's where I go, right? I'm going to watch both. But, Thanksgiving is football to me. NBA, that's Christmas to me. So I will be watching the NBA slate, and I'll go back and forth to Netflix. You got to switch through. There's YouTube TV, then there's Netflix. So I don't know. I'll get to the NFL games when I get to them. So that's what's coming up throughout the rest of the week. And, it's just a lot of different storylines. I saw somebody, I think it was a Craig Carton show, and they were complaining about how this season of football hasn't been good. I was very taken aback when I heard that because I think this season has been awesome. And the fact that there is that parity, I think some fans are just fans of parity and some fans are just fans of the same teams that we've seen. But you have no clue who's going to win the Super Bowl, and I think that's great. We're going to talk more about that at 1 o'clock. Which teams do you trust the most? Because I don't know that I trust any of them. And if I were to say the Niners, that's not because we are the Sacramento home of the Niners. It's because if you look around, I want to say the Eagles, but they're busy messing around. Nobody in the AFC is proven quite yet. So I don't know where I would go. So we're going to talk about that more at 1 o'clock and who you trust. Because normally your default is you trust the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs, at the end of the day, if they're down 10, they're down double digits, whatever, you feel like they're going to figure it out. Is there a team like that going into the playoffs this season?
Y'all don't need till 1 o'clock to know who I trust.
Who, the Bears?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's a Bears fan, though.
Not just that. Have you seen how many comebacks Caleb Williams has had so far this season?
That's a lot. I mean, that was what the Vikings a couple years. What was that, last season? The Vikings did that.
This is different.
I'm just saying.
This is different.
I'm just saying. We're going to see. We're going to see Sunday night. All right.
Exactly.
All right. So we have that coming up for you at 1 o'clock. Niners, Brock, they all did their thing. George Kittle, he's going to have to get right quickly because they play on Sunday, so it's a bit of a shorter week. The list of teams that are interested in Keon Ellis, that is growing. All right, so we have that for you. That's from Heavy.com, Sean Devaney. He says that there are multiple teams, and he also has quotes from a GM, which I find very fascinating. And we've talked about it before, how Keon is just, I guess, a bit of a confusing prospect. Not prospect, but confusing value, if you will, at this point in time. So you're not going to want to miss those quotes that we have for you. And that's coming up at 11:30 after we talk to Hunter Patterson. We have more Darius Garland smoke. Okay, Darius Garland has been included in just some of the different teams that may or may not want him. And I know they keep throwing him in different trade rumors. He's another guy. He just gets thrown in trade rumors every single day. But the Sacramento Kings are another team that have kept an eye on Garland's situation. That's from Grant Afseth of the Dallas Hoops Journal. And my confusion here, and you already know what I'm going to say if you've been listening to the show. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year's, even though we'll be back before New Year's. I just don't know how you're in on Darius Garland, but over the summer you were out on Trae Young. That's what I don't know. And I know Trae Young's been out with injury. To me, it's just same, right? Darius Garland, probably a more gifted scorer of the basketball. Trae Young, a more gifted passer of the basketball. The only thing I could think about is maybe you like Darius Garland more because he doesn't handle the ball as much. But here's the kicker. Neither of them play defense. And I thought that's what we were doing, right? To me, this is when we got a report before he re-signed that the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, who have been telling us pitching defense, that's our new identity. This is like after the Giants saying all that, and then the report came out that they were interested in Kyle Schwarber. Like, that's what this reminds me of. Pitching and defense, but you're going after a 30-plus-year-old DH. That doesn't make a lot of sense. We're about defense. Malik Monk can't get on the court, and you've been actually actively trying to move him, but you want to pay 40-plus or 30 whatever $million for Darius Garland? in a trade. I don't understand that. Maybe if you're moving off of Zach LaVine because you're finally getting a point guard in that way. But if you're just moving off of, it would be Schroeder, whoever it would be, or you have to give up draft capital, I don't get it. Now, the reason you've heard me say I'm kind of in on Trae Young and maybe not in on Darius Garland, that's just a preference to me. And I feel like Trae Young might be cheaper as far as the deal that you have to do. I think Darius Garland might have a little bit more value right now and might cost a little bit more. But if you're in on Darius Garland, or I think most people will be in on either of them or not in on either of them because you want to go get yourself a point guard in the draft or something like that. Speaking of the draft, speaking of building a team, the league is trying to fix an issue that I don't necessarily know whether or not it exists or not. Okay, this is the NBA and its stakeholders have started talks on finding new solutions to prevent tanking. And the league proposed multiple ideas to the board of governors as the sides brainstorm cures. Sources said multiple ideas were proposed last Friday, limiting pick protections to either top 4 or 14 and higher, no longer allowing a team to draft in the top 4 2 years in a row, locking lottery positions after March 1st. I'm just not sure. Who are they pointing to, right? Who are they pointing to saying, we can't let this happen again? The only team I can really think of is the Spurs. And the Spurs haven't won anything yet. What OKC did, all of it is based on a trade with a big market team. I know the Clippers have stunk, but a big market team who moved off of one of their prospects that they drafted. So I don't even know how this, I know OKC has all these picks, but I don't even know how this stops. Is it the OKC thing you're trying to stop from happening? Is it the Spurs thing? I find the whole thing to be a slippery slope. I know back in the day, the Chris Paul trade that got canceled or vetoed. So I understand when it feels necessary, the league will step in. But if the Spurs flipped Dylan Harper and whoever else, or Stephon Castle and whoever else for Giannis Antetokounmpo, I mean, what are they trying to solve? The competitive balance? Are they going to step in and say no? What if the Spurs are making a mistake? Giannis is 30 with calf issues. So I'm just not necessarily sure what the point of this is. What are you trying to stop? Do you need more people? You don't run the bad teams nationally anyway. If the Jazz were a 9 seed instead of a 12 seed, you're not giving them any more national games. You don't even give national games to the teams in small markets that are good. So is this about the fans? Because I guarantee the fans most fans know, we have to stink to get better because we're a small market. And doing this after the Mavericks just got the first pick and they won a play-in game, mind you, makes absolutely no sense. I know the Nets, they gave away a lot of picks, and when they tried to do the Frankenstein with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, but the Nets, they just picked in the top 10, and it was 8, and they've stunk for a long time. So my greater answer to all this is that it doesn't matter. At first, I was a little annoyed because it just feels like they could be spending their time doing something that makes more sense, like making sure Mark Davis and his 6-figure salary can get calls right. But at the end of the day, people that are good at their job will be successful no matter the rules. They'll figure out how to be successful no matter what. You can make whatever changes, fixes you want, and if you hire someone that is good at their job, now this is all relative. This could just mean the Kings get to the third, the semis, right? Or the conference finals or something like that. This is all relative. The Pistons, they can all get to the finals or whatever that line is, right? The Bucks, they end up winning a finals. Why? Because they draft Antetokounmpo, and that was in the teens. So you never know what's going to happen, and there is a little bit of luck involved. I just hate when it feels like people are spending their time doing stupid stuff, right? Just doing stuff that's just unnecessary. There are a lot of things. How about the fact that dudes, and I know nobody wants to see a travel call, but these guys are moonwalking like Michael Jackson on the court and nobody cares. I just don't know what any of the rules are anymore, and neither do they. And some of the decisions that gets made time and time again, that's the stuff you need to be focusing on, not whether or not if the Hornets, look at the Hornets, right? Who are we talking about? The Hornets have drafted LaMelo, Brandon Miller, right? Con Kneppel now, Liam McNeely, and they still stink. And they finally got a player that we think is going to hit for them, and it's Con Kneppel. That's however many top picks later. You still have to take the right guy.
Halfway.
And I just don't think it's a big issue to me. It's just not a big issue to me. So at first I woke up and I was a little annoyed. And as you can tell, I'm still annoyed now. But I still believe that if you hire the right person, they will make you as good as your ceiling. I don't believe every ceiling is the same, right? The Lakers ceiling because of free agents. How about this? You want to limit free agents that Lakers and these big markets can get? Like, it just feels like if you're going to start doing this to the little, they've already flattened the odds for the lottery. What are we trying to do here?
You want Kanye to say it again? Houseway.
What are we actually trying to do? That's what I don't get. All right, 4 hours with you. When we return, we have that Chris Haynes audio that I've been teasing. It's official for the 15th time. Malik Monk is on the trade market. But why are they saying it now and rolling it out in this way? Do not move. This is brand new. Just came out this morning. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with a Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com to join.
'Twas the night before Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale. And all through the store, not a DeWalt tool was marked with a deal you could ignore. The bare tools and toolkits were stacked with great care in hopes that our DeWalt markdowns would stop shoppers mid-stare. So dash in today. Don't wait, don't delay. Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale live now through Christmas Eve day. Stop by 6701 Power Inn Road for massive savings on DeWalt products now through the 24th. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. It was a couple of years ago that I walked into the Mercedes-Benz of Stockton showroom for the very first time. And let me tell you, I was blown away. Not only did they have the finest cars I've ever seen, the people I encountered, whether it was Jane, whether it was Dante, Jason, you name it, they were all friendly to me. And now is the perfect time for you to head to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton because it's the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. You may say, Drapes, what's the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration? Well, for starters, you can get a car with 3-year prepaid maintenance on select models. And because it's nearing the end of the year, important tax breaks are available right now. Plus, they have low rates on new vehicles and certified pre-owned vehicles. So see for yourself. Head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and tell them Drape sent you. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, the gift that keeps on giving.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part? You can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. And by the way, 15 minutes, I have a feeling Ramsey is just going to find this funny. I don't know why. Ramsey filling in for Kyle Ledbetter, Kyle with some much-deserved time off. But DK Metcalf, welcome to the all-bag fumbling crew, brother. Welcome to the all-bag fumbling. We'll talk about that in about 15 minutes. But I read this from CBS Sports, and it was pretty crazy.
Is he going to come after me if I call him DeKalen?
I look, he might be listening. I don't know.
I call him DeKalen all the time. Mama call him DeKalen. I'm going to call him DeKalen.
So that's coming up in about 15 minutes. But right now, we want to talk about Malik Monk and this quote unquote, and I'm air quoting if you're listening in the car on the Sactown Sports app, this new report from Chris Haynes about Malik Monk being available. And here is the sound from Mr. Haynes right now.
Yeah, so let me bring up Malik Monk. He's somebody right now who has fell out of the rotation for the Sacramento Kings. They're going with Keon Ellis as that guard. They have a logjam at the guard spot, and so sources have informed me that Malik Monk has been made available for a trade. And so the Sacramento Kings, they're looking to get younger and they're looking to get more athletic. So Malik Monk is somebody who plays extremely hard. He's a very dynamic player, one of the best 6 men we've had in this league. So he presents a ton of value. It's just a logjam there with the Sacramento. But I was in Sacramento, but I was told he is available for a trade.
So that was Chris Haynes, and I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing this morning. Allen, don't we already know this information, right? Don't we already have this information? We already knew Malik was available for a trade. He was a part of the Dennis Schroeder thing, and then that changed, and his name has been thrown around since the season ended, since free agency started. And you're right. But listen to what Chris Haynes said. There are different things that Chris Haynes said than what we've heard in the past. Number one, he is clearly stating that this is about Keon Ellis. Now, what's funny about that is if you actually were watching the game that they won, they combined for 14 minutes. So Keon only played 9. But that's not what the Kings want out. The Kings want out that Malik Monk has been leapfrogged by Keon. Sometimes. That's what they want. That's what they want to be put out there. So that's what Chris Haynes, that's the information he got, and that's what Chris Haynes is reporting. So that's the first thing they want to get out there. The second thing they want to get out there is this is the first time we are clearly hearing from the Kings an idea of what they want in return. We know that they're interested in Jonathan Kuminga. They've been interested in Jonathan Kuminga the whole time. But they are very clearly saying, we're trying to move Malik Monk, and we would like a young, athletic player in return. Now, in my opinion, what they're looking for is somebody with a very high ceiling, but also we're in a second draft situation. Right? This is not somebody that has done very much in the league because we know that Malik Monk's value has kind of fluctuated, and it's not just Malik Monk. It's also the idea of these two guards that aren't very good at defense or aren't extraordinary at defense, and they're more of these microwave scorers. He's a sixth man, right? The value for a guard sixth man that does not play point guard, okay, that's what we're looking for. So they have told us, number one, what did they want out there from Chris Haynes to say? I believe that was on NBA TV.
That was on the association last night.
Thank you, good sir. They wanted out there that Keon Ellis has leapfrogged him. So across the nation, if you didn't watch, you would think, okay, Keon must be getting time. Until you check the box score, Keon played 9 minutes. Okay? But they want out, hey, Keon is now playing ahead of Malik. He beat out Malik. We're not doing the thing where we don't play Keon anymore. So on the first side, we have Malik Monk, right? On the other side of it, let's not forget Keon Ellis, unrestricted free agency at the end of the season. I think they want to hold on to Keon, but they are putting out there what they want. We've talked about Jarris Walker on the Pacers. We've talked about other guys, Tari Eason. If they can get somebody a bit bigger to help out Keegan, is there a world where Keon could be in a move? This was not just about Malik Monk. Now you got me on my national treasure, Nicolas Cage, because the message within the message, I feel like I'm in Inception. It's the message within the message. They're saying this is what we want back. Now, they're saying it as it pertains to Malik Monk. But what they're also doing is they are using this to up Keon's value. Hey, we know that people have been talking across the league right now. We're going to talk about it later. Keon's value. There are more teams. There's a team up north that is interested. There's a team down south that's interested in Keon. There's a team up north that's interested in Keon. But we're also going to say, hey, we know people are talking about the fact that Keon's not playing and it's a head scratcher. Trust me, we've heard about it. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make this move where Malik, odd man out. When it comes to basketball politics, odd man out. That's just how it goes. When you look at the different values, hey, Malik, somewhat tradable contract, that extra year, people don't love, but he's 27. He's not he's a vet, but he ain't the vettiest vet. He's not a young player. We're looking around. We got future Hall of Famers. It's got to be Malik. And that's why it was Malik to start the offseason and to start free agency. But this was a very calculated move by the Kings to put out this information and to put out this information in a way that served multiple purposes. And Chris Haynes delivered it beautifully. Now, all the teams around the league, and maybe they already knew this, but now all the teams clearly know that it has been publicly stated that Keon Ellis has leapfrogged Malik Monk in the building. Now Malik watched this same thing, right? Because I'm gonna tell you this much. I don't think that's what Doug said to Malik. It's logjam this, logjam that. Now Malik turns on, and I get it, Malik's numb to it. I've talked to Malik plenty of times. But now Malik turns on the TV, or he hops on his Twitter and sees he got leapfrogged. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's not necessarily what was said to me. Now, maybe it is, right? Actually, we know it's not. Because Malik, in that exclusive interview with Jason Anderson, said, and I'm paraphrasing, hey, we're going to try something different, right? Essentially, we're going to try something different. There was no mention of, yeah, Keon got you. You know, when you get Wally pipped, sometimes coaches are clear with you, sometimes they're not. But there's normally a moment. There's normally a moment when it happens. That moment never happened. So we can go down the rabbit hole of how these decisions came to be, but ultimately we know what it is. Keon's got more value, not just across the league, I think on this team for what they're trying to do. And now they want it out there that we're just not playing Malik for no reason. He's available for trade. He's fell out of the rotation. That's what Chris Haynes said. Very specific. Let's keep this conversation going, and we got to talk about the ultimate bag fumble. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nugget Bells, Nuggets all the way.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison.
And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
is sharing them when we cut down the Christmas tree.
We will pack the car with gifts, and of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Quiet down, here she comes.
Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
At Sierra Pacific, your home's comfort comes first. Need fast heating or plumbing you can trust? Our skilled, friendly technicians are ready when you need them. Save 10% on heating or plumbing repairs this holiday season. Get a heating system tune-up for just $79. Call today or visit SierraPacificHome.com. Legendary service and craftsmanship since 1984.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. Claim your free panel today. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Reacting to what Chris Haynes put out there about Malik Monk, and this came out, this was 3 hours ago, 7:19, so we woke up in the morning, some people saying, Alan, and me as well, we already know this, right? And it's crazy because I'm looking at the video, and they have Malik Monk has been made available for trade. Then it says Chris Haynes reports, and then the next line is played 5 minutes in Sunday's OT win versus the Rockets. It's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded, but we know what's going on here, right? They've been trying to get, and look, Scott Perry, I'll never forget it. He came on these airwaves and said, we are very much happy and okay with going into the training camp with Malik Monk and with who we have, right? What else is he supposed to say? I'm not blaming him. Then once the season starts, obviously, and I'm surprised what they didn't say on NBA TV is that Zach LaVine didn't play. He played 5 minutes, Keon played 9, and Zach LaVine didn't even play. So we know what's going on here. A lot of people are responding, saying, Alan, Chris Haynes said that the Kings are looking for somebody young and athletic, and obviously Malik Monk is young and athletic. Yeah, I mean, I think what wasn't really focused on or wasn't being said, if it was even alluded to, is that they're looking for the style of player that's hot right now. Malik is not this. When they say young and athletic, don't think Malik Monk. Think Peyton Watson, honestly. Think Peyton Watson. Think not Jalen Johnson. I know Jalen Johnson turned into a dog, but yeah, Jalen Johnson. Think Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Think Derek Jones Jr., right? Think about those guys. That's what they're looking for, the style of player that's hot right now. You know, it's Christmas season, right? And you can get gifts for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, anything you need. And you go to some of these, you know, y'all know I love the basement at Macy's. And in the basement at Macy's, you get good deals because something came out last fall, right? So you could either get something a little bit cheaper for you or your significant other from last fall, or you can pay top dollar, get on the escalator, head back on up, and get something from this season. Right now, what's in season in the NBA is that drop we always play from Austin Rivers. I don't need you to have the bag work. That's not what people are looking for right now. Give me 6'7", Give me 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", long, three-pointer, defend. That's what we need. And they, I believe, would be willing to move even Keon for that. That's not what they said because they're focused on Malik, but I believe they would. That's what they're looking for.
This is Chris Haynes, and you've been briefed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haynes. So that's what they're looking for. So when you say, Allen, Malik Monk is young and athletic, he is. But what is not necessarily being said, but we should all know based on what is hot and sexy right now in the NBA, is they're looking for those big wings that are athletic and they can do different things. Think about it. Who are they going after all season, right, or all offseason? Jonathan Kuminga. That's the type. Now, I know Jonathan Kuminga doesn't necessarily play that style because he thinks he's going to be a star, but that's who they're looking for. They're not going to move Malik Monk for another Malik Monk. They're not moving Malik Monk for another guard. They're trying to move Malik Monk for, I believe, a young 6'8" to 6'6" to 6'9" wing forward that maybe hasn't developed yet and they want to take a chance on a second draft scenario. So that's the difference. That's the difference. That's what they're looking for. I don't know if they're going to get it for Malik. I don't know. Maybe the whole time when we talk about sweeteners, they don't want to use Keon as a sweetener. That's what Steinlein reported. But maybe there's a conversation where it could be both of them because Keon doesn't cost anything. But that's what they're looking for. You know, and Malik's contract is not viewed positively across the league. So it's going to be a situation, I believe. And think about it like this. Unless you really like Malik, you're probably not trading for Malik with an expiring salary because you want to keep that expiring salary for when it expires at the end of the season. Unless you really think you need Malik. So I don't know how this gets solved, but it's so funny because when we kicked off the show, we said, has Malik played his last game in a Kings uniform? I think I'd be willing to say his last game that matters, right? I think we're going to get little 5-7 minute sprinkles, but the other part of that is I don't know how easy it's going to be to move him. We know how many players are going to be available right now, and that third year makes it tough. That's why, ... you don't sign guys if you don't truly believe in them, and you don't sign guys and then move on from your GM. I'm not saying that Mr. Vestman should have stayed, but what I'm saying is now you have these contracts that nobody wants from a GM that is no longer making the calls. So if the GM believed in Malik Monk and the GM believed in Domantas Sabonis and the GM...
I'm a pizza guy.
And the GM believed, I think, in Zach LaVine, even DeMar DeRozan to a certain point, now they're gone, and Scott Perry's trying to pick up the pieces. I don't know how this goes for Malik Monk. Okay, you officially made him available for trade for the 5th time, and we don't know who is interested in Malik Monk right now, right? I've talked about the Raptors. I've talked about certain other teams, but his style of play does not match with his contract right now in the NBA. So that's the biggest issue, all right? Well, from getting the bag like Malik Monk did to fumbling the bag like DK Metcalf. Ramsey, I had to get your take on this, brother, because this is from Andrew Filipponi. It's really from CBS Sports. DK Metcalf's suspension, he's been suspended for the rest of the season, the next 2 games. It voids a $45 million guarantee that he was going to get with the Steelers. This 2-game suspension for what the NFL terms conduct detrimental to the league now voids at least $45 million in future guaranteed money for the Pittsburgh Steelers receiver. Metcalf would still be able to earn that money over the next 2 years. His 4-year, $132 million contract from March, reviewed by CBS Sports, notes that if he fails to practice or play with the club for any reason, which includes player suspension by the NFL or club for conduct detrimental, his guarantees will be null and void. Ramsey, nobody hit the Powerball last night.
Nope.
Now it's up to 1.7 billion.
Got to get back at it. Got to get back at it by tomorrow.
I'm back grinding tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Can you imagine fumbling? Now, look, let me start here. There are conflicting reports as to what was said. Okay? I've seen a lot on social media. Some are saying that this person said certain words to DK. This person is saying, I just called him by his government name. I do believe there are enough videos that this thing is going to get resolved, and I'm not even going to touch the rest of it.
I'm gonna use a famous line that one of our other producers, Jay Johnson, says. There's three sides to the story: yours, mine, and the truth. Yeah,
and I think there's enough video evidence floating around. I'm just waiting for the final cut. I'm waiting for the final cut before I check out all these other ones. But I don't know, man. Tricking off $45 million. And, of course, in that moment, he's not thinking about that. And if what he is claiming was said, look, I guess nobody knows how they're going to react, but we also don't have any proof of that quite yet. But, Ramsey, you're kind of a hothead, which is why, this person did it. Apparently, he reported this person when he was in Seattle. $45 million, Ramsey. Before Christmas.
That's a fumble of epic proportions. And speaking of hotheads, are we gonna start this nomination for hothead of the day? I mean, you had DK. You had DK Sunday. Mm-hmm. If people want to go there, don't talk about this team. You had Draymond last night.
Yeah, Draymond, if you didn't hear, got into it with Steve Kerr and I guess tried to do the calm thing, which was remove himself from the situation. And I saw that video. You got Buddy Hield trying to be the mediator and Moses Moody. What a disaster. And Draymond thinking, I guess he was being the bigger person, but why are you even in a position where you have to get up and leave? And then Steve Kerr said, he came back to the bench, and then I guess they went on a big run. But he said, even if we didn't,
I wasn't going to play him anyway.
I wasn't going to play him anyway. It gets old. It gets to a point, man. So, yeah, you got different hotheads on different days, and it's just something that they're going to deal with. And Draymond thinks that it's A-okay. I guess in the past, maybe Steve Kerr would have had to, put his dukes up. So at least Draymond did walk away. But, yeah, that's right, Ramsey.
And I'm going to tell you who potentially the hothead of tonight will be Dillon Brooks.
Why is that?
They're playing the Lakers.
Okay, I thought you were going to say beef stew with the Kings.
No, Dillon Brooks tonight. They're playing the Lakers.
Why do I feel like they've played the Lakers 12 times?
Because being in the Pacific Division, you got to play your divisional opponent 4 times every year.
Yeah.
But they play the Lakers tonight. This time in Phoenix, but we know what happened the last time.
It might be
Dillon
LeBron.
Brooks.
It might be LeBron. He had LeBron losing his top. LeBron then had his ear blown into, going all the way back to Lance Stevenson.
LeBron lightweight laughed about that, but Dillon Brooks, I think Dillon Brooks, I'm not sure about the either the Clippers or the Warriors, but Dillon Brooks has his antagonizing style for at least 2 teams in the Pacific Division.
Yeah.
We know it's LeBron in here. I so wish Debo would swing on him one time. Just one time.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Just once.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I just got a text from Hunter Patterson. It's going to be 11:30. He's caught on a call. Look, when you're covering a team in first place, that stuff can happen. So we're going to flip it, all right? And we're going to flip what we were going to do at 11:30 for 11 o'clock. This is from Sean Devaney of Heavy.com. There are more teams. Like I said, there's a team in the north, there's a team in the south, and they all want to know what Keon Ellis is about. So that's going to come up at 11 o'clock.
I really just be chilling for real.
That's going to come up at 11 o'clock, and then we're going to talk to Hunter at 11:30. Don't move. More Allen Stiles coming up.
Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made-in-America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. The NBA is happening Christmas Day. 5 games, 1 unforgettable lineup.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Buckets for breakfast, breakaways for dessert. It's the holiday tradition.
Christmas is our day.
With star power from across the globe.
The stars, they are going to be out.
The best gift, you don't even have to unwrap it.
We want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
NBA Christmas Day begins at noon Eastern on ABC and ESPN.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root off with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall. I'm meteorologist.
Just as I was away.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Hunter Patterson is going to join us in 30 minutes. Okay, we flipped that if you are just tuning in saying, Alan, I thought you were going to have an interview. We are. Hunter is, he had to take a call. All right. Look, man, he covers the number 1 team, the number 1 seed in the East. You got to take a call when you got to take a call. All right. So Hunter's going to join us in 30 minutes. And at 11:30, we were initially going to talk about this heavy.com report from Sean Devaney. And, Sean Devaney is saying he spoke with a GM, or a GM has put out these quotes about Keon Ellis, and the list is growing, man. And going back to what happened, or what came out from Chris Haynes as far as Malik Monk is concerned, it's all connected. And they want it out there that Keon has, I guess, beaten out, in a way, Malik Monk for this 6-man spot, even though we know that it's not that simple. Really, Nick Clifford played 27 minutes. He played more. He dang near played twice as much as Malik Monk and Keon combined. Okay, combined. I know he's got a little bit more size to him so he can play other positions, but he played more than both of them combined. So the reality is it's not that simple, but there is a reason why the Kings are doing this way, and it makes sense. So this is from Sean Devaney, and really the focus is more so about the Lakers. So the name of the article is NBA Trade Rumors, Why the Lakers, in parentheses, and Everyone Loves Keon Ellis. So he starts out by saying, talking about the Lakers being Hollywood's team. So, of course, everybody likes a good rags to riches story. So he talks about Keon being overlooked and things like that, everything that us in Sacramento are very familiar with, okay? So as he gets into the quotes from this, obviously, anonymous GM, this is where things get a little fascinating, I would say. So here are the excerpts that I have pulled from the article. Quote, "At least half the league has asked about him," one NBA GM said. "The Lakers tend to get talked about more, but everyone loves him. It's not that the guy is a star player out there or he is going to develop into a star or anything like that," the GM said. "He has not even played that great this season, but he has a couple things going for him that are pushing his market. One, he is plug and play. Everybody needs another guy who can knock down shots and defend on the perimeter. Two, he's cheap. He makes $2.3 million. You can take a guy off the end of your bench, put a couple second-round picks in the deal, and come away with the guy who would be in anyone's rotation right now." Sean goes on to write, "Ellis is a free agent after the season, which is often a detriment in a trade. But because his salary is so small and because his bird rights would come in a deal, a team can trade for him and plan to re-sign him next summer without eating into their cap space. That's the goal for the Lakers. For other teams, Ellis represents a chance to upgrade the roster without running afoul of the league's apron rules. So despite his downturn on the floor this season, Ellis is still a wanted man, the rare NBA player who can please both the coaches and the accountants. Beyond the Lakers," here we go, "beyond the Lakers." Now, there is a funny name in this one. The Knicks, the Magic, the Heat, and the Blazers have interest in Ellis. Others are and will be involved. That's where the price of second-round picks could be pushed to a first-rounder. The GM goes on to say, "It is hard to imagine giving up a first-rounder for him, and I don't think that's where it will land. But they're," talking about the Kings, "they're right to keep asking for it, and maybe someone bites at the end." So that
I
is
would just be chilling for real.
That is quite the story from Sean Devaney of heavy.com, so you can check out the full story there. Those were all the quotes from the NBA GM. That's why I wanted to read them off to you. And, I mean, where to start? Obviously, we know the type of player that every team is looking for. That's what I've continued to say. 3-and-D, plug and play. You have your star, you have your big. Now let's just get a bunch of wings that defend and shoot threes. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. Star, big, a bunch of dudes that defend and shoot threes. That's where the league is at right now. So Keon kind of fits into that. And the biggest part, this is why the Pacers thing never made sense to me, even though I'd love Jarris Walker, is because everybody wants the Keon for $2.3 million.
I'll put it like this. You know one of the teams they mentioned, the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
Please, give me Dalton Connect back.
You know, that I talked about that for Devin Carter. And it's funny because I wonder what the Kings think of him because he is a first rounder.
And I mean, he's 6'7".
Yeah, he is a first rounder. Don't get me wrong. He is a first rounder. Would Kings, I think it's funny, and now you're going to get on your soapbox, Ramsey, because I do feel like Kings fans would probably feel like that's not enough. Here's the question. Would a Kings fan, or in general, would you rather trade Keon Ellis if what this GM is saying is true? Would you rather trade Keon Ellis for Dalton Knecht, who is, it would be a very clear second draft scenario? Would you rather trade Keon Ellis for Dalton Knecht or a couple high-level second rounders, pretty much where you got Maxime Reynaud, maybe even higher than that? I don't know what fans would say. I think most fans would say he's worth more than that. But I think realistically, this GM is saying it would be hard to get him to that first round conversation, but it is possible. But yeah, if you're arguing a couple high level second round picks or Dalton Knecht, it's tough, Ramsey, because I haven't seen Dalton play.
He would play here.
I'm not against it. I'm not. And, I know that he has, I think I saw him on the court a couple weeks ago, something like that. I know he's 24 years old. So another conversation where he's not young, but would he be somebody that the Kings feel fits? He's played in 22 games.
And he's a wing. He's more of a wing than a Keon Ellis or something like that.
It depends on – I think it depends on how the Kings are saying it. It's this defense thing, right? That's what they're saying. So 22 games, 5.9 points, 1.9 rebounds, 0.5 assists, 46% from the field, 34% from three, 66% from free throw. I'm just assuming he's only shot about three free throws.
Let me double check.
Something like that. I got it right here. Yeah, he's at 0.7. He's at 0.5 free throws and 0.7 free throws attempted. So he's just not playing. He's playing he's averaging 14.5 minutes. He did randomly start a game, but he's averaging 14.5 minutes, 22 games he's played in. Weirdly enough, he's actually playing a little bit more than I thought. He's at 2.8 threes per game, 34% from three-point range. I'm not totally against it. When you look around, the teams that he did name off, if we just go through them all, I don't understand the Blazers thing. I know the more wings, the better, but the Blazers to me, so is that what it is, right? Is it give me Denny, give me Klingon, and then just give me a bunch of wings around them? That's kind of what they already have.
Yeah, and just look, Dalton Knecht's 10 of 15 from the line this season.
Okay. Yeah.
So he hasn't had any chance of getting any attempts.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily against that. The Blazers don't make a ton of sense just because you got a ton of guards. I mean, you're getting Drew Holiday back. They'd have to be offloading one of the guards. I mean, what I'm going to say?
Who?
They're not going to do it, but I also have no clue what value Scoot Henderson has.
They ain't going to do that.
I don't think they're going to do it, but where the brother going to play? Where's he going to play? Denny's the point guard. You got Dame coming back. You got Drew. And nobody's touching that. Well, I said this last time, but I'm not touching that Drew Holiday contract. And I don't think the Kings would now either. I know they initially had interest, but I don't think they are either. So I don't get the Blazers thing, and I don't know how the Blazers would get him unless we're talking about a low.
Sterling got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him by his government name, too. Sterling got to stay healthy.
Unless we're talking about them doing the late first round thing, and we don't know if the Blazers are even going to make the playoffs. The Heat, that's just obvious to me. It's the Heat. It's a Heat culture. He's a Heat culture type guy. You saw what they've been doing with Davion.
I mean, who would you get back? Who would you want to get back from Miami?
I mean, that's the thing, right? That's why when we had Brett Siegel on, the money is great for whoever's getting Keon. It makes it tough for the Kings to get something back because the money doesn't match. That's why I think it's funny that there's this whole Keon. I know they don't want to do the sweetener.
I'd take one of two players back from the Heat. One of them I'm pretty sure they wouldn't give up is Jaime Jaquez. They might give you Jovic.
I don't think so. They just extended him.
Who?
Jovic. Yeah, they just extended him on a pretty fair deal. But again, this is what I'm saying. They couldn't even, and I don't even, because of that, I don't even know if they can. He might be on the Jonathan Kuminga plan, might be in January. Okay. But even so, this is what I'm saying. Funny enough, they're saying that Keon leapfrogged Malik, and I don't know. I know the report was they don't want to use Keon as a sweetener, but think about it like this. If you are, just use it as an example, if you are the Kings, let's say that you do like Jovic, okay? Jovic goes 6'10". He's 22 years old. I know he just got the extension, so I'm not sure if that's in January or if they have to wait till the end of the season the same way Keegan could. But just play along for a second. Is there a world where if the Heat were okay to do Malik, and I don't think they necessarily need Malik because they got Norman Powell, but if it were Malik and Keon, that type of sweetener to get a 22-year-old Jovic, would you do that, right? It can't be 1-1 because the money doesn't match, but would you do that? You'd have to. You'd literally have to if you're the Kings, in my opinion. You'd have to do something like that. So that's the Heat for me. As we continue down the line, the Magic, the Magic, they just want a bunch of shooters around Paolo and Franz, so that makes sense to me. They got Desmond Bane.
I got one for you. They might give up Pelle Larson.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just looking at it contract-wise, too. I mean, he makes roughly about $2 million, and Keon makes, about 2.5, give or take?
Yeah. Now, it's funny because we know that they put out the athletic report, not from the Athletic, but the report for young athletic players about Malik Monk, right? We've also heard that they do want a first-rounder for Keon Ellis, so I don't know where that.
How?
I don't know where that line is. I mean, look, the GM is saying I would do the same thing too. I don't think they're going to get it, right? Again, if the Pacers were actually competing this season, the Jarris Walker thing is perfect because he ain't getting time, right? No. But there's no reason for the Pacers would be trading for Keon and not getting any value from that $2.3 million contract. So you'd have to love Keon to do something like that. The other team here, as we talked about, the Magic, I just saw everybody's boy that I know they're going to say, but don't waste your time. I saw Anthony Black went off last night against the Warriors. They lost, but he had a good run at it. I know yesterday I was listening to you on the way home, you and Whitey, and you brought up Jet Howard. That's another guy. He's only 22, but the brother just doesn't get any time.
I mean, a change of scenery may.
No, I don't disagree with you. I would put him in the same conversation as.
And I'm just in contract-wise, I'm pretty sure it will work as well because he's still on his rookie deal.
I think it's the same conversation as Dalton Connect. Right? Who would you rather bring in, Jet Howard or Dalton Connect? And last but not least, I saved this one on purpose. The New York Knicks. Time is but a flat circle. The New York Knicks. We knew when they were interested in Jose Alvarado, we knew they weren't far away. And could this be a situation where Mike Brown gets to atone for the doghouse situation in Sacramento? Looking at some of the guys that they have.
I can't remember if they renewed him. Would you want to get Deuce McBride back?
They're not moving Deuce.
I'm not saying that they would.
I would. I'd be interested, but people were talking about him just with the whole the Bobby Marks best values out there. So I don't think they're moving Deuce.
I mean, I got another one, but I don't think I got another one on the Knicks roster, but I don't think they move him too because he's been in a rotation as Tyler Kolek from Marquette.
Yeah. Now that's a guy, to me, I'm not necessarily looking for a 6'1", 24-year-old. Not me personally.
You're not, but you have to, again, contract-wise, if you're doing something simple, you got to keep it slightly balanced.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of different options out there, and
you could even take one of their big youngsters that they drafted last year, in Dadier or Mohamed Diawara, I believe is how he pronounced it. I mean, again, change of scenery could do those gentlemen good. I mean, we see what the Kings' depth looks like at that position at the moment.
Right. Yeah, I would say if I'm the Kings, number one is you want something that hasn't been driven off the lot, even if you only went around the block. So clearly, a protected first would be ideal. The question becomes, what is second to you? And that goes back to the Dalton Connects and the Jet Howards. Would you prefer a couple high-level second-rounders or a redraft, a second draft of a former first-rounder?
And again, this is what we're talking about in terms of these players are if those Kings fans that are in this already rebuild mode, this is a form of rebuilding of getting another youngster roughly about the same age, same contract. So therefore, it's a realistic contract. It's not trying to jump and steal somebody from a roster. That whatever team that was listed here, like the Knicks, the Heat, the Pacers, and others, you've got to be realistic in the demands of what you want in a trade.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, like the Heat, his contract may match, but do you think in their right mind the Heat are going to trade Jaime Jaquez for Keon Ellis?
No.
That's not going to happen. So you realistically have to look at players on each team's roster like, okay, that might be the move.
Yeah, and it really just depends how much you value where somebody was drafted. Obviously, it's funny because Keon wasn't drafted at all, but if you, in theory, flip Keon for a guy that was drafted, I believe Dalton was, 17th?
Yeah, Dalton was 17th. You had a chance to draft him when you drafted Devin Carter.
Oh, I remember it well.
Let's not go there.
I remember it well. So if you say, hey, we're going to bring on Dalton Connect, because here's the other part. And I know.
And the Lakers don't want him anyways. They tried trading him for Mark Williams, and unfortunately he had to rescind the trade because the physical didn't pass.
Ever since that happened, I feel like Dalton Connect has just been a bit off. But here's the thing. Doug Kersey can continue to tell us that offense is going to figure itself out. They need defense. They need defense. He can continue to say that. That's fine.
I was just going to say, on that tape that you have, the Kings, I believe, are the 28th scoring team in the league.
Yeah, right. And we've said that before. Doug doesn't want to talk about it. He goes Nick Saban on you. I ain't talking about it, so don't ask. But the reality is you have to shoot threes.
I apologize, 27. The only teams that are below the Kings, ironically enough, the Clippers average less than the Kings per game. The Indiana and Brooklyn, that's it.
So you have
to. Oh, and the Wizards, I apologize.
You have to take threes. You do. That's where this league is at right now. You might not like it, but you see what happens when you don't.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings average 111.5 points a game. There's 4 teams average over 120.
So
per game.
You can want all the defense in the world, but the reality is it's called 3-and-D, right? And right now the Kings don't have either.
I was about to say Kings have no 3, no D.
They have neither. They have neither. So if you can get somebody that at some point you have to get shooting, right? You know, it's when these defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators, when they get hired as head coaches, obviously they're more focused on whatever side of the coin they came up from, right? If you're a defensive guy, you more so handle the defense. If you're an offensive guy, you more so handle the offense. But at the same time, you understand the importance of it. And that's what these defensive coordinators that turn to head coaches, a lot of times they struggle with because, we'll figure out the offense. We're going to get a quarterback as long as the defense is good. And the defense could be banging. But if the offense is trash, then the offense is trash. Right now with the Kings, both are trash.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings have the second highest in terms of negative point differential in the league. They're minus 10.5 points per game. They average 111.5 and give up 122.
Every team, and you got Dougie McBuckets on the team, but he never plays. So you don't have one guy that's just there to shoot. And I think going to some level of a rivalry with a guy or with a team that is going to give you a second chance. And hey, we want to, you're 24. We want to build around. Because think about it. Who is the knockdown shooter on the Kings, right? Keegan is too busy rebounding. And I know we're not really doing the Kyle Korvers anymore because you have to defend at some level. But Dalton, I know he's not a defensive savant.
Yeah, he's not a defensive wizard, but but you still need someone to shoot, and he would definitely sit in the corner, sitting on the wing and shoot.
Right. He's 24 years old.
He's 6'7".
You know, it doesn't help Keegan move from 3 to 4 yet, but you don't have to be done. In a perfect world, Dalton is your 2 down the line. That's where the league is going. So he can play 3, but Dalton is your 2. Just like Kevin Huerter could play 3, but you didn't necessarily want him there. So Ramsey, I didn't necessarily need to be talked into it because everybody knows I wanted Dalton Connect that season anyway. But you know, I get it. People are going to say, well, he hasn't played, he hasn't this, he hasn't that, he doesn't have a lot of value. But I'm looking around some of these other teams that have this interest, reportedly from Sean Devaney and Heavy.com, and you know who you could get back if we're doing the second draft thing, and somebody says, hey, here's player A and here's player B, right? And player A is an undrafted two-way guy that you're paying $2.3 million to at 25 years old, and you can cash in on him right now. Player B was drafted 17th, was one of the most prolific scorers in college, and goes 6'6", and there's a little bit of growth there. He's 24 years old. He's younger than player A. I think most people would say, yeah, let's do it. Then when you include the story and the background, I do think it makes it a little different. If you have other names, 916-339-1140, please let me know, because I simply think I am just valuing, it's not necessarily Dalton Connect specifically.
And I'm going to preface it when you say other names, realistic names, people.
It's not that I'm high on Dalton Connect specifically. It's the idea that I would rather take a chance on, I'm valuing where somebody was drafted more than some second rounders.
And valuing what their contract status is at the moment in comparison to Keon Ellis if Keon Ellis gets moved.
The other name that Ramsey brought up too, Jet Howard, I think for me, he went 11th in 2023. It's funny because he's actually pretty similar to Dalton Connect. He's at 20 games, 5.6 points per game, 36% from 3, 44% from the field. So very similar. I just feel like Dalton would be further along. And honestly, Jet Howard's only 22. But I just feel like Dalton would be further along.
Him or another one I just stumbled on looking on the Orlando roster that I wouldn't mind having whatsoever is Tristan Da Silva.
Yeah, they're not moving him. But trust me, I would. I think that was Chris Watkins' boy coming into the draft. So a lot of different names to throw out there. Let us know if we're missing on any, and we'll say yay or nay. It's always a yay to Hunter Patterson from The Athletic. He joins us in about 2 minutes. Don't move. More Allen Stiles coming up.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm meteorologist Kelly Curran in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Mostly cloudy skies today. Winds will be picking up, especially as we get into the afternoon, and temperatures will be topping out in the low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA app.
It's the best time of the year during the Roseville Auto Mall's end-of-year clearance sale going on now. 20 top brands and thousands of vehicles in stock daily with savings as big as the selection. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
The clock is ticking. This holiday season, give the gift they'll really love. A new Honda from Northern California's best Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Happy Honda days are happening right now. Score big with low payments, top trade-in value, and a huge selection of new Hondas, all at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on
on the results of the study recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
'Twas the night before Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale, and all through the store, not a DeWalt tool was marked with a deal you could ignore. The bare tools and toolkits were stacked with great care in hopes that our DeWalt markdowns would stop shoppers mid-stare. So dash in today. Don't wait, don't delay. Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale live now through Christmas Eve day. Stop by 6701 Power Inn Road for massive savings on DeWalt products now through the 24th. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Just once a year, NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, boaters, RVers, and off-roading enthusiasts. Buy the latest gear, discover the best destinations. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Lease a new Chevrolet Trax for just $199 per month plus tax. Enjoy its roomy backseat, flat rear window, and simple, attractive interior packed with an 11-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, and wireless charging. The Trax delivers more for less. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full lease details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice. You're home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
We are back with my man, Hunter Patterson. Hunter covers the Pistons for The Athletic. And Hunter, I was trying to tell everybody, you know, we wouldn't understand out here when you cover the number one seed in the East. Sometimes meetings come up. So I thank you so much for taking the time, my guy.
Of course. It's good to be back with you. It's good to be back in Sacramento for a little bit. So it's always good chopping it up with you.
Let's start here, Hunter, one of Bay Area's finest right here. Hunter, just tell us. We don't know how it is. We're like in a desert, starving. You got moved to Detroit covering the Pistons. All they've done is win, so maybe they owe you a steak dinner out there. So just give us the vibes of the team and the city out here. I just want all Kings fans to remember what it once was like. What's it like out there? That team has stunk for a long time, and now they're the number 1 seed. So what's it like in the city? What's the vibe for all the Pistons fans out there?
First off, I do have to commend the fans here in Sac, though. I was watching the Rockets game the other night. Crowd pop when Dennis hit that shot was amazing per usual. So always lit at Golden One. But Detroit it's a great time right now, minus the frigid weather, I would say. It's a lot of people who are just prideful in the sports teams. The Lions haven't really held up their end of the bargain as the season has wound down for the NFL, but the Pistons are kind of the pride of the city right now. Everyone loves Cade. Everyone loves JD, Jalen Duren, Asar, and they're just, like I said, a prideful city who really enjoy quality basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking to Hunter Patterson, who covers the Pistons for The Athletic. And Hunter, as we talk about where this team is going, right? We were talking about the Beam team. When you make that leap, what you do next. Does it feel like this Pistons team, does it feel like they are still in the it feels good to be back zone, or could you see them trying to do something big at the deadline? They've been connected to Domantas Sabonis and others. Do you think they're still in the, hey, we're just happy to be here mode, or are they going to try to cash in some chips and really make a run at it with Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton out in the East?
They seem to believe, I would say, they have everything they need for the most part in their locker room. Cade is only 24. Duren just turned 22 earlier this season. Asar is also 22. They're just such a young bunch of highly gifted players with, I would say, majority of them aren't even close to reaching their full potential yet, given how young they are. And I think it's more just prioritizing what's going on internally. I wouldn't expect any big moves or anything, but I think there's just a lot of belief internally in what they have in their locker room. And when they've already won 23 games, it's kind of hard to argue that.
Talking to Hunter Patterson, who covers the Pistons for The Athletic. Well, Hunter, Keegan Murray signed a big extension, and everybody was really happy for him. There are certain situations where the rookie extension doesn't work out. We've seen it work in both ways, but now it seems like Jalen Duren, it's definitely going to work out for him. He's been balling. We thought maybe he could be involved in one of those trades, and now he's taken what seems like a leap. He's still only 22 years old. I would never say anything bad about him because he's yoked out of his mind. How has that worked out for Jalen Duren and the future of him with the Pistons?
They really value him. JD is someone who's really a part of the fabric of the team. He and Cade are extremely close. For him to be only 22, like you mentioned, he's very much one of the leaders of this team. And I think it has just worked out in his favor in terms of him kind of controlling his destiny a little bit. And he's likely playing himself into more money than he would have signed for initially. So he's someone who is more focused on basketball than the financial aspect of it, I would say. And it seems to be working in his favor so far.
Talking to Hunter Patterson, who covers the Pistons for The Athletic. Hunter, another guy that, is around the same age as some of these guys that are getting their extensions, Jaden Ivey. Now, we know he hit that game winner and actually ended Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox's time in Sacramento. He was injured in that season or last season. 14 games this season. He's under 20 minutes a game. Where do you think this goes for Jaden Ivey? Does it feel like he's being talked about a lot as far as a possible move if the Pistons make one? What are you hearing about his value and what the Pistons' plan is for him right now?
He's another person who is just important to this group as a whole, given his age, the fact that he had essentially an 11-month layoff with surgery and multiple surgeries, actually, one to repair his fibula, and then he had knee surgery as well. And I think just being patient in his approach in terms of kind of reintegrating him into the offense. And I mean, JB's acknowledged multiple times how tough it is for someone to be away from NBA basketball for as long as he was. His game is pretty reliant on his athleticism, his explosiveness, and they're just being patient with him. I don't think they want to rush him back into more minutes than he should be playing too early on. Asar had a similar situation where he was kind of eased back into the rotation last season when he was returning from the blood clots that he had. So I think they're just, again, being patient with J.I. and allowing him to not feel rushed back into the flow of things.
Hunter, one more for you. We have kind of a game that we do on the show with the most overused names when it comes to the trade market, just guys that get talked about being traded time and time again. You have one on your team out there. I'm going to let you guess, and I'm putting you on the spot here. Can you guess who I'm about to ask you about?
So for specifics here, you're saying someone whose name is usually involved in trade talks.
And I don't even know if my point to the question is, I don't even know if he was ever available, but people always throw him into this conversation.
I'm gonna let you.
Okay.
I don't have any guesses.
Okay, it was Beef Stew. It was Isaiah Stewart.
Okay.
Because Beef Stew to me every year is involved in, every team wants a Beef Stew enforcer type guy, can shoot the three ball and obviously, can do a lot of things for you physicality wise, but I don't even know if the Pistons ever thought about dealing him. Is there a world where that happens, or has he just been thrown in these conversations every single season? He's only 24 just because I don't even know if the Pistons were ever interested in moving him.
I think you and I might have a better chance of lacing up and playing in an NBA game today than there is of Isaiah getting traded. He's, talk about like the fabric of the team. He's the longest tenured Piston, which is pretty crazy considering he's only 24, averaging 2 blocks in almost 23 minutes. Mm-hmm. And if you talk about one person who embodies the passion of the fan base, the passion of the city, just hard-working mentality. I think it's Stu almost more than anyone else on the team, and he's someone who loves to be in Detroit. He embraces the city. He embraces, like I said, kind of just the identity of the city, and he's beloved by his teammates, the coaching staff. Everyone in the franchise loves Stu and what he's about, and I think sometimes he can be maybe a little misunderstood, but when you spend time around him, he's such a genuine person. He's the guy who will walk in the locker room, whether he knows you or not, he's acknowledging you. And he's just such a great person and a quality piece on this team who comes off the bench and sets the tone. He started 7 games this year, and he's just someone who just embodies what the Pistons want to be about.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm telling you, Hunter, maybe it's different in Detroit, but I've worked in 2 markets now, and this is over the course of 3-4 years, and everybody always, we need Beef Stew. And now that we know what he means to the Pistons, we can finally, I'm just going to replay this. Anytime anybody calls in or texts in and says, we need Beef Stew, look, Allen and his repaired Achilles has a better chance of lacing him up than Beef Stew getting moved from Detroit. Hunter, thank you so much for taking the time, man. We really appreciate it and enjoy your time back in the NorCal area, as we know you often reside. But try to stay warm while you're out here. I know it's not that warm, but it's got to be warmer than Detroit. We appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate you. Glad to be back.
That was Hunter Patterson of The Athletic. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, Hunter, as well. Ramsey talking to him. I don't know if he can hear me. But thank you to Hunter Patterson. We will be right back. And you don't want to move. So we've talked about this G League showcase, right? The G League showcase that was going down. Well, Brett Siegel just put out an article right off the press. We don't know if it's a banger yet because we're going through it and we're doing that on the other side. He has information on the Kuminga quota and Zach LaVine and the Bucks, so you do not want to move. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm with Vince Bloom, the big deal guy at Folsom Lake Dodge.
Vince! Actually, this time of year, you can call me the Holiday Big Deal Guy.
The Holiday Big Deal Guy!
Because during the wrap-up the year sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, you can save over $18,000 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4.
I'll take it.
And for a stocking stuffer,
keys to a Jeep,
a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Sport S. Right now, I've got one for only $36,995.
That's why they call you
the Big Deal Guy!
So over $18,000 off a Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
And a Jeep Wrangler Sport for only $36,995. But you'll only find these big holiday deals at one place.
That's right, only one place.
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall.
But online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Ram includes 9873 dealer discount plus 8207 in national stackable and holiday bonus cash. Then SN 667196. Jeep includes 4250 dealer discount plus 12750 in bonus national retail loyalty and holiday cash. Must be current owner of SCA vehicle to qualify for loyalty bonus cash. Then SW 543907. See dealer details, expires 1/2/26.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. With the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This Saturday at 11 a.m. on the next edition of the Travel and Entertainment Guys.
We answer your questions from our mailbag. You can send us questions at TravelGuysRadio.com.
That's this Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
We will be joined by Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins. About 10 minutes. 10 minutes, we're going to be joined by them. Thank you again to Hunter Patterson from The Athletic, Detroit Pistons. That is who he covers out there. And yeah, man, I mean, those are some names that we've thought about. You know, it's funny when you compare the Pistons to the Beam Team Part 2. Because in reality, I mean, you already had Tobias Harris is your Harrison Barnes, I would say. You got Isaiah Stewart, who I guess the Kings didn't really have anybody like Isaiah Stewart. Maybe a little bit. But then you have Asar Thompson, who is kind of your Keegan, not perfect, but kind of your Keegan. You got Duncan Robinson. There's your Tyler Hero. The difference is they just have more young talent, and then you have Jalen Duren, who obviously isn't Domantas Sabonis, but that's your center forward situation. I think the reality is they just have a younger crew, and the Beam team, they weren't that young. So when they decided to run it back, you didn't have as much room for growth. You have Tobias Harris and Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert, and they are who they are, but those are your three, right? Outside of that, you got three vets, and I don't think any of them start. Maybe Tobias Harris, but those three vets, that's not your core, right? And they're all in their 30s. Tobias Harris, 33, Duncan Robinson, 31, Karis LeVert, 31.
Tobias Harris starts for him.
Okay, so there's one. So there's your Harrison Barnes. But besides that, you have Cade Cunningham, 24, Isaiah Stewart, 24, Jaden Ivey, 23, Asar Thompson, 22, Ron Holland, 20, Jalen Duren at 22. So I think the difference between the Kings running it back when they did and the Pistons running it back the way they're running it back, and they still went and got Duncan Robinson. The difference is their guys are all younger, so they're just all still improving. You had De'Aaron. Hey, is De'Aaron about to take the keys? What? At that point, he was 26, 27. They were all in their mid-20s to late 20s, right? De'Aaron was probably at that point, 28 now? De'Aaron was 25. Sabonis was 26, right? Malik was 25. So the timing was different, and they were just a little – this goes back to drafting young. The timing was different with, hey, these guys are all going to, Kevin Huerter, I think must have been, I know he's a little bit younger, but same idea. None of these guys were 22 years old. So when it was time for them to take that leap, well, we're already pretty close to our ceiling, which is why the Kings should have gone all in. Maybe it didn't have to be Harrison Barnes, but there was the money there to try to improve somewhere. So I have this for you from Clutch Points, and this is from Brett Siegel. There's not a ton, which I don't think is going to make a lot of people feel great, but there's not a ton from Brett Siegel at the G League Showcase about the Kings. These are the only two notes. The first note is about Zach LaVine and the Bucks. Not much has been said about Zach LaVine and the Bucks as of late. The Sacramento Kings have made it known that everyone on their roster, other than Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford, are available in trade talks, and Milwaukee has done extensive scouting on the possibility of adding LaVine since the trade deadline last season, but he goes on to say kind of the same ideas. Here you go. However, his contract would be tough for the Bucks to maneuver, and many front office personnel have downplayed the potential of such a move between Sacramento and Milwaukee. All right, so that's what he says about Zach LaVine and the Bucks as far as Jonathan Kuminga and the Kuminga quota. as of right now, it no longer seems like the Sacramento Kings are a realistic option for a Kuminga trade before February 5th, unless another team with assets Golden State wants is involved. The Warriors continue to signal that they don't want Malik Monk, who has been made available in trade talks since July. There is virtually no interest in Monk around the league because of his contract. So that comes out the same day.
Hercules, hallelujah, Hercules. I'm tired of hearing about Jonathan Kuminga. He can stay getting DMP CDs at the dental office.
Well, look, I guess the feeling is mutual. I don't know why. I just don't necessarily understand why the focus is with Malik Monk. I understand what the Warriors want and don't want, but to me, this has always been more of something that made sense than what other people have said. DeMar DeRozan to the Warriors with Keon Ellis as a sweetener for Jonathan Kuminga, I guess has sounded crazy to others, but just has never sounded crazy to me.
That sounds crazy as hell to me.
Well, I know it sounds crazy. You got to admit, Ramsey, you probably value DeMar DeRozan more than a lot of people out there.
I value him, but that type of trade, hell no. I would not move off of DeRozan for a diva. I'm cool. He can stay in the dental office catching DMP CDs like he did last night. The only player not to play on the roster. Good. Stay on the bench. That's where you belong. You're not good.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion. I think a lot of people wouldn't do that deal on the other side because of DeMar DeRozan, but that to me has always made sense. The Warriors need another scorer. I think they have enough defense around DeMar DeRozan. And that is a situation, like I mentioned, where Keon is a sweetener, but it's a sweetener for somebody that's 3 years younger. Because DeMar DeRozan, I think, is probably not going to be on the roster next season. At least that's what they've been kind of signaling just with the pseudo expiring contract, the $10 million, that's what he's owed. So if you don't think that, then and again, it's really Keon Ellis for Kuminga, but you're using DeMar DeRozan because DeMar DeRozan by himself, all these guys, that's the problem with the Kings right now. All these guys by themselves, it's an issue to trade. That is why initially the sweetener conversation came up. The Kings are signaling, and again, this is the part that I didn't mention in the Chris Haynes thing, in the report from earlier. If the Kings are signaling, hey, we're valuing Keon Ellis, we're playing him, then him as a sweetener now has even more value, right? Because you're getting somebody that's valued as a first rounder, in the Kings' opinion, on top of another player. So that's why, to me, this report from Chris Haynes, even though it seems very innocent, it's actually doing a lot of different things here. Chris Watkins does a lot of different things for this station, as well as Brendan Nunez, and they're going to join us for an hour for the last Kings Roundtable of the year. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you?
Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
You know the rush when you reach that goal? When something you've worked for pays off? That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco!
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Listen on the Sactown Sports app.
2 hours down, 2 to go, and we are joined by my guys. And, you know, guys, it's a sad one. The last round table of the year. But I'm glad that you could join us. No Frankie Cardicelli, but Frankie's in our hearts.
Yeah, he's had a morning and a half.
Frankie is in our hearts, and you know, this next hour, I've been talking about the report from Chris Haynes and how it seemed so innocent at first, but when you actually listen to everything that he said in that minute and 30 seconds, there were a lot of different things that he wanted to make very clear, and we know that you got to get your information from someone. He goes out on NBA TV and he says a couple of things. He says that Keon has basically taken Malik's spot in the rotation. He says that they are looking to move Malik Monk, and they are looking for somebody that is young and athletic. And a lot of people were chiming in saying, isn't Malik young and athletic? They're looking for one of those 6'8", 6'9"ers. That's what they're looking for. So, yeah, I mean, it was national treasure to me because there were so many different avenues that I felt like we could take this thing. But Chris, I mean, initially you hear it and it's okay. Thank you, Chris Haynes. We already knew that, but I do think there was a little bit more to it. And I'm just going to ask you straight up, maybe not literally as in he'll never be on the floor again, but are we done seeing Malik Monk play substantial minutes for the Sacramento Kings?
I don't know. I candidly haven't heard the full Chris Haynes audio yet, so maybe hearing that in full will change my opinion. But I think if you would have asked me like 2 weeks ago about Keon Ellis, I might have said yes or something like that. I'm more so just saying I think it's pretty fluid right now, and I think Malik is definitely being shopped right now, but he was also shopped in the preseason and everything before that. I just have a tough time saying definitely yes, he's not going to come back because he is still young and athletic, and I still see a world in which he makes sense if he just is somebody who's one of the leftover guys. I wouldn't imagine he's going to be because, he seems to be more tradable or easily tradable than a guy like Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis or maybe even DeMar DeRozan, so maybe he is the most likely to get traded, but I could see it if he does somehow make it past the February 15th trade deadline and he's still in Sacramento. I feel like there's a world in which this is all at some point water under the bridge, and it's, hey, we explored it at that time. It didn't happen, and we're happy to have you moving forward. But I just have a tough time believing that it's truly done for Malik, but it very well could be.
Yeah, let's hear Ramsey.
So let me bring up Malik Monk. He's somebody right now who has fell out of the rotation for the Sacramento Kings. They're going with Keon Ellis as that guard. They have a logjam at the guard spot, and so sources have informed me that Malik Monk has been made available for a trade. And so the Sacramento Kings, they're looking to get younger and they're looking to get more athletic. So Malik Monk is somebody who plays extremely hard. He's a very dynamic player, one of the best 6 men we've had in this league. So he presents a ton of value. It's just a logjam there with the Sacramento, but I was told he is available for a trade.
So I don't feel
what we knew.
Different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that to me doesn't feel like anything new at all. That to me sounds like he's just literally saying, as of right now, Keon in rotation, Malik not. Again, like 2 weeks ago, it was the complete inverse of that. And so
then why are they? Yeah. You know how this works, though, right? Who is? I'm not saying who, but. They're doing this for, is it just who are they reminding?
I think it's, I don't know if you've ever posted anything on like Facebook Market or Craigslist or anything. Sometimes you got to repost things. Yeah. Sometimes you put things up and you don't get the right offers and you're like, hey, like brand new wicker.
It's still here.
Outdoor set.
Yeah. It's still, I got
$200 OBO or best offer.
Yeah. Come on. What did you think, Brandon? Am I doing too much with this?
No, I mean, I get why you're talking about.
Gotta get Brendan's mic going. But yeah, I don't know. My initial thought, try now, Brendan.
Yo, hello.
There we go.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a lot of similar wording to what we hear from the Kings all the time. Like, to me, when you hear logjam right away, I'm like, okay, this is exactly the wording that Doug Christie has been using, And so I don't think it's anything new. You just read out the Siegel reporting before we hopped on. He said Malik's been available since, June, July? Like, I think that's been a known thing. To the point of the rotation, though, it does feel like it's very much picking one or the other. And I don't personally think that needs to be the case for what it's worth. I look at, Russ playing 40 minutes, take it, it's an overtime game. DeMar playing 38, and you're like, all right, we could just, cut off 5 from each of these guys and distribute it a little bit.
Yeah.
Asked Doug Christie about that, and he's saying it's not a participation sport. We're trying to win games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not, because I think I worded it.
As you're playing 37-year-old veterans, this isn't a participation sport.
Yeah. I think I worded it a little bit like, do you think about cutting everybody's minutes essentially and letting everybody get run? And that was the response to that.
But and he hadn't the only 2 people he put on ice before is Keon and Malik. Nobody else has been put on ice like that. I mean, and I'm not counting Neek because Neek's a rookie.
Yeah.
But nobody else has been, hey, it's just how it goes. And maybe this is just trial by fire. He's trying out something new instead of, trying to give everybody a little bit of the mix. A 9, it was essentially between, and the crazy part was, hey, Keon has leapfrogged him. Keon played 9 minutes.
Dude, and my whole thing is that we've had this exact conversation with Keon a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Malik is a lot better player than Keon,
yeah,
to be honest, just straight up. And they do things differently for sure, but I think it's even more ridiculous to not play Malik than it is Keon.
Yeah.
And so I think Malik's going to end up back in the rotation. We saw it last game, right? For 5 minutes, take it for what you will. But, I think that Malik will go back out there because from what we've seen so far, I bet you there's going to be an instance where Keon's not cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're going to go back in the other direction, and it wouldn't surprise me if we're sort of flopping back and forth throughout this a little bit because that's what it feels like.
But think about it, I think what's weird to me, and I know the Kings have been brought up time and time again because they're just one of those teams where everyone's waiting for them to just move forward. But we're not hearing, Chris Haynes is not reporting on every roster or every rotation update for other teams. Hey, here's an update. He's still available, and he just lost. And by the way, I saw a text come through about this. What type of backwards, I'm not going to say backwards, but hey, by the way, Malik's still available, and he just got Wally pipped by Keon.
Right.
Who does, what?
Right.
Backwards.
What does that solve?
No, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, right? If you're going to shop somebody, then you should probably showcase them. I understand,
Or don't tell people, or don't tell give
people,
Chris Haynes information.
Right.
Hey, highlight the fact that Malik is on the bench.
Right. No, that's a solid point too. Yeah. Not really any of it makes sense, and it's really perplexing with how they're attacking this portion of the season because it does feel like, and the thing is, Doug has been saying that we're going to cut down those veteran minutes. We're going to cut down. You're not going to see DeMar playing 37 minutes, Russ playing 40, and whatever, overtime definitely does play a factor into that. But at some point, that's just got to change. It just can't be an excuse because at some point you're doing it to yourself. And I don't know. It's a 7-win, or what? Do they have 8 wins now?
7.
I can't.
At 7
I can't keep. I can't keep
7
track,
and 22.
You ain't got to count high.
Why, what are it just doesn't make sense as to what is the reasoning for, and maybe it's easy to say with hindsight being 2020, but what's the reason for going all out in a game like that? It's okay. In my opinion, you fought really hard against Houston. The young guys played well. It was a moral victory at that point.
I'm
not saying tank that game.
No. I would disagree with you just for that game because I did see somebody say every tanking season needs some feel-good moments.
Yes,
that one is cool. I don't have a problem.
The fan base needs that too.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with anything they did in that game. But your larger point is definitely received. I think I think the main issue was this. You're closing the game, and again, it just can't be what you typically do. Because the main issue was this, and I know a Westbrook fan's going to find this and get mad at me, but it's very simple. If you are closing the game with both of your point guards, that means no 2 is playing. So Keon is not playing, Malik is not playing, and I don't necessarily think Neek is playing because then you have Schroeder, Westbrook, Keegan, whoever's playing the 4, so I guess DeMar and Maxime. So the bigger issue to me was running both of your point guards at the same time, and you're closing the game. I get it, but that is if you're not allowing Malik or Keon, because the whole thing is who's rotating in with Zach LaVine out. Well, that's why they're not getting minutes because Doug just decided in that moment. Doug decided to close with the vets. Right? And then it went into overtime, so he kept the vets because you don't normally sub in overtime unless it's, the Rockets did, and it ended up.
Or Max fouls out.
Yeah, exactly. The Rockets did, and Tari Eason kind of blew it. So that is, I think that's the bigger issue. You cannot have both those guys on the floor. That can't be a thing. That's your crutch. It's a crutch for Doug. And I get it. Schroeder is getting paid $15 million. Russ is a future Hall of Famer, and Russ is the starter. But that's a crutch, and if you do that, Neek got his minutes against the Rockets, but
Neek did play a lot.
Neek is not going to get his minutes, and Malik, who they clearly don't, number one, they just don't care about, is not going to get his minutes. But Keon is the main one. oh, Keon leapfrog. Okay, but there's no leapfrog because you're not running a 2.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that I can't really fault him for last game doing that.
I don't either.
Feel like,
I don't either.
You know, like, yeah, I think that those guys were playing well. You're going to roll with that. And again, like we talked about last week, like Doug's job is to go out there and win games. And so I feel like I can only fault it to a certain extent, but I definitely see the logic in what you're saying. Like running those guys the extent that they do. I also think that that's where, when you talk about Malik's minutes, like, sure, he doesn't want to be a point guard. Like, he has the capability to do it. We saw it last year, like, and there are moments where they look really good doing that. And it's probably, I wonder how much it has to do with Domas being out. You know, I think Malik plays really well off of Domas and vice versa. And so maybe whenever, if Domas comes back at some point, that would help his production a little bit out there. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's just kind of a weird spot for Doug to be in, and for reasons that we've talked about plenty, but not playing Malik is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you wonder,
and
you know, if there's other
proclamation
things
about it.
Right. Like, it's a very weird way to do it, you know, that if you're not playing our brand of basketball, you're not playing hard, then you're not going to be out there. And he talks about how our defense has looked a lot better over the last 3 games. Funnily enough, their defense is better with Malik on than with him off. And it's actually worse with Keon on the floor than when he's off the floor. All of Keon's on-off numbers, they are notably better when Keon is off the floor rather than on. I'm just saying it's kind of crazy.
We're trying to get a protected first-round pick.
I'm just saying.
Or don't connect. We're trying to get
I've come around to the idea of him getting a first, by the way, of the Kings getting a first for him. But
I mean, it's going to be tough. But.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's just a weird spot to be in. And when a guy of Malik's caliber is not playing, I think it's very reasonable to be like, okay, is there other things going on here?
Well, I mean, there are. And then you have Brett Siegel saying there's no interest in Malik this morning in his report. You got Chris Haynes saying, well, he didn't say that there was interest. He said that Malik Monk is available, and this is what the Kings are looking for. And I took what Chris Haynes said about the Kings looking for somebody young and athletic just as what they're looking for, period. I think that could be for Keon. I don't think it's necessarily only for Malik. That's just what they're looking for.
Scott mentioned that in his intro presser.
Yeah, that's just what they're looking for, period. Yeah, so did money. So that's just what they're looking for, period. And, you know, at this point in time, that's why I asked, is this the last time we've kind of seen Malik play substantial minutes? Because I just don't – what do you do if you're Malik Monk, right? Hey, Coach, I made the joke yesterday, Chris. Is this Coach Carter? Right? Hey, Coach, I've been working on sliding my feet. I mean, what? You're 27. You're going to run some liners? I mean, what are you going to do?
He does have a lot of my bad moments on defense. I don't know if you remember, like, Buddy Hield was the king of putting my hand up, like,
so
my
then
bad.
It's cooked. It's cooked then. You're not there's no time.
Well, at
Malik's
some point,
been practicing much better. Here's some minutes.
Well, at some point he's going to get back out there, probably because Keon isn't cutting it. And are you going to show some progress
played 9
in that
minutes
way?
last game.
I know, it's
Zach
not
LaVine's
a lot.
Gonna come back.
Right.
It's over. It's over.
It might be. I just feel like, again, my theory is more based on just the numbers game working out in his favor, that Schroeder gets traded first, that Russ gets dealt somewhere else, DeRozan gets dealt somewhere else, and he just inevitably kind of comes back. And again, maybe he is just the next one in that list. Maybe this could, to your point, like, this could just be the sign that Malik is first on the list. Like, as we're trying to wonder who it is, like, again, Malik does, if we're saying who are the tradable contracts, Keon, you can have a separate conversation about trying to maximize the value and what you're going to do that. DeRozan, contract, which location is best for him. LaVine, obviously, tons of money. Maybe Schroeder, you can argue, is an easy deal. But Malik is the one that just makes the cleanest, most sense. He goes to a lot of different teams, and it makes sense. A lot of teams probably have varying levels of interest in him. But, it just, to me, feels like, for I guess everything's Brendan's saying is it just – if at some point the Kings are going to revert to, okay, this is no longer any form of showcasing, this is just like, this is our team and this is what we're running out, it feels like Malik Monk, if he is on the roster, should be playing in there because he's just too talented. And if at the end of the day you're trying to win games or you're trying to run coherent offense, even the numbers are showing it, he's helping you be a better basketball team. And so it's just a matter of, it's the question we continue to come in here and ask is, what direction, what goal, what are they trying to accomplish this season? We still really don't have any clear direction that they've given us.
Would you ask a question to Doug that is kind of formed around, because I don't necessarily know how much the Kings get down.
You can ask him, by the way.
Well, I've been running around.
Okay.
But as far as the analytics are concerned, is there somebody that would form a question that says, hey, Doug, understand where you're going with some of the high-level numbers that we're seeing actually shows that the team might be better with Malik playing? What would you say to that, right? What do you think he would say?
He would probably point to the last 3 games. We want to fully go, play into like me being Doug Christie here. It's I think that Malik does a lot of good things out there for us when he's out there. He knows the situation, and we just got a logjam going on right now. And if you look at our last 3 games, we've actually played a lot better defensively. And maybe, I think 3 might be a little bit kind if you go look at 135 that Portland put up or something. Right. But then they held Portland in 98. Is it 125, I think, in overtime against a pretty good Houston
team?
Portland
is 10 and 16, by the way.
This is true. The Kings are 7-22.
Right. They got 2 wins against the Kings, but they're
better than the Kings.
1.5.
Yeah. It's just one of those that I don't feel like you're going to get Doug to be like, we're better with Malik.
Yeah, it's just the eye test.
Like we're trying to get more size out there defensively. I think that's why you see. It doesn't make sense, but that's why you see Dario Saric out there for the 8 minutes or whatever he played the other day. Earlier in the year, I think we saw a lot more of DeMar playing the 4, Zach playing the 4, and that's where you get more of the 3 other guards out there with them, and it feels like they've really gone away from that. Like Precious was playing the 5 not that long ago, right? He was their backup 5, and now they're bringing in Dylan on his 2-way deal. That way Precious can remain at the 4 and Keegan more at the 3. And so I think they're trying to go with larger size lineups.
Yeah.
And that's where some of these guards are getting cut out even more so than before.
Yeah, this is from Brett Siegel. It was more so about Kuminga, but he ends it saying, the Warriors continue to signal that they don't want Malik Monk, who has been made available in trade talks since July. There is virtually no interest in Monk around the league because of his contract, which, the crazy thing is about this whole contract thing, it's a bad contract. You're already paying him. So you might as well play him just because it's viewed as a bad contract. Right. Y'all the ones y'all the ones gave him the contract.
Zach LaVine's viewed as a bad contract. It's not stopping them from playing him.
No. So the other
Someone will trade for him.
The other guy, well, it ain't going to be the Bucks.
Got to find another Kings out there somewhere.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, Chris, is somebody that we don't talk about at all, and I've kind of put him in the Harrison Barnes category. Last season, we spent so much time when we were fighting with Legend of Winning about
the Trey Lyles movement.
About the Trey Lyles movement, me deleting my tweet and him calling me out. All this stuff.
I just want to hear from him about snacks.
Exactly. All that stuff coming out from DeMar DeRozan to the bench, right? We have since moved forward, and he's not going to come off the bench.
Right.
But I feel like we're in this Harrison Barnes spot where nobody and he's been playing well. It's not about him. So has Russell Westbrook. But I feel like he is a bit bigger. You play him at the 3 and the 4. But I feel like we've just given up on any idea that DeMar DeRozan has to play less minutes. He doesn't get asked about it. We keep on saying the vets. He keeps running DeMar out there the most. And I just feel like I don't even talk about it anymore because Doug's just he's just the one guy because he's not a guard, even though he was a 2 guard for majority of his career, that we just don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, it's a solid point. I think it's also like a little bit of plugging holes, and you can only complain about so many things at once, and it's just the one that just continues to leak. But it is pretty interesting. But it is, I think, also exactly what you said in your question. Like I think you kind of answered your own question. It's the fact that he just by default, unless. Here's the interesting thing. I was just talking with Angie down the hallway. Like, Doug McDermott's not getting any minutes. And so, that's the other alternative is, I guess, if you're talking about a guy who can take some forward minutes, unless they want to get a little weird, maybe they could play Keon more at that 3 spot. But I don't have a good answer for it. It doesn't make sense to me. I wouldn't be doing it. I think DeMar should be playing somewhere around 28 to 32 minutes. But I think it's just a politics thing. I really do. I think Doug, clearly still to Doug's credit, does have the locker room. And I think a large part of that is because he's playing the veterans so much, and so those guys haven't given up and haven't started bad-mouthing what's going on, and they're not on the, how many guys this season has said Russell Westbrook growing up was my Neek, I've heard say it. Drew Eubanks said, like, if Russell Westbrook isn't playing and he's sitting on the sideline and he's out here saying, like, I don't know why I came to this sorry team anyway, like, y'all ain't doing nothing, y'all ain't playing me, this is why that's going to affect those guys. And so I think that would, I guess, if I had to give an answer, that would probably be the best answer I have. Is it's merely a respect thing. And funny that, again, I had not heard Doug say not a participation sport, but I do kind of feel like he is just playing those guys out of respect and pretty much because he doesn't want to lose the locker room.
Yeah, I do wonder if at the end of the day this is more so about really nobody on the team right now. They keep saying Neek Clifford and Keegan, and that's really more so about if there was anyone that would be untouchable, it would be them. Carmichael Davis said multiple times, nobody is untouchable. I do wonder if this whole exercise for us is futile because Scott Perry doesn't really have any interest. Like when we talk about getting Keon more time, hey, Keon is who he is. We're going to either trade him and then we're going to extend. Like there's no point, like going back to the center fielder that I was talking about my junior year, the juice is not worth the squeeze to tick off any of these guys when, hey, as long as we make sure Neek is getting time and Neek, Maxime, that just worked out because of DeMontis Sabonis.
I feel like Dylan Cardwell has earned some.
Dylan Cardwell, but going into the season, who Scott Perry has prioritized, hey, we need these guys to get minutes. Neek is getting his minutes, and I don't know how much they care about Keon getting. They care now because it's been talked about around the league. Why isn't Keon playing? And it's time to trade him, but they don't care if Malik plays or not, right? So I guess maybe us talking about these guys getting less minutes, well, for who? Keon and Neek. That's it. Malik would be out the door if it was up to them.
Yeah, we can bring up the Devin Carter of it all.
I would bring up Devin Carter, but he would be out the door too. Balling out at the G League Showcase. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't seem to.
Yeah, I think for the most part that, like, when it comes to Malik, the contract not being viewed very highly right now, it's a funny thing in hindsight, by the way, because at the time of him signing that, everybody thought he was about to leave, right? It was all pointing towards he's probably going to go to Orlando, maybe Detroit. Orlando ends up spending money on KCP, and there was not more money out there for Malik Monk like people thought there was going to be at the time. And so you're seeing that play out now, that nobody wanted to give it to him then. They don't really want to do it now. But that value will get easier to move as more years come off of it,
agreed.
And so there's no hurry with Malik. With Keon, I also don't think it really matters what he does this season, to be honest. I think everybody knows what Keon is. A thing I thought of yesterday, actually, when looking at some of the Keon and Malik numbers is, remember when Keon first got drafted, there was... He obviously went undrafted, and there was a report that he was listed taller than he actually was at Bama, right? And then got, combine. People are like, oh, he's actually shorter. I thought that's why he fell, and I asked him about it. And he said that he actually thought it was because of the NBA combine scrimmages. And he was like, that's a style of basketball that does not cater to my play. Everybody's out there trying to get their own and just essentially playing their own brand of basketball. And I feel like that's what the Kings are right now. They are essentially playing the same basketball that you see at the NBA combine scrimmages. It's everybody trying to show off on their own. And that's not a situation that's very conducive to Keon's style of play. I think teams around the league know that. And you see it in all these reportings, right? It comes out like, man, we like Keon. I don't get why he's not playing. Like, I think that his value will be fine no matter how the rest of this season goes, and you can play it patient a little bit with Malik. And you got time. You got 2.5 years, and eventually that contract will get easier to stomach from some other teams.
When we return, there's another guy that is not viewed in the best light because of his contract, but I want to talk about his minutes on the Kings. More Allen Stiles coming up.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at KohlsandKohls.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
'Twas the night before Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale, and all through the store, not a DeWalt tool was marked with a deal you could ignore. The bare tools and toolkits were stacked with great care in hopes that our DeWalt markdowns would stop shoppers mid-stare. So dash in today. Don't wait, don't delay. Fasteners Inc.'s 12 days of Christmas sale, live now through Christmas Eve day. Stop by 6701 Power Inn Road for massive savings on DeWalt products now through the 24th. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. It was a couple of years ago that I walked into the Mercedes-Benz of Stockton showroom for the very first time, and let me tell you, I was blown away. Not only did they have the finest cars I've ever seen, the people I encountered, whether it was Jane, whether it was Dante, Jason, you name it, they were all friendly to me. And now is the perfect time for you to head to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton because it's the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. You may say, Drapes, what's the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration? Well, for starters, you can get a car with 3-year prepaid maintenance on select models. And because it's nearing the end of the year, important tax breaks are available right now. Plus, they have low rates on new vehicles and certified pre-owned vehicles. So see for yourself. Head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and tell them Drape sent you. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration, the gift that keeps on giving.
Weekend escape to bucket list adventure. Plan your trip at the Sportsman's Expo. This is the region's greatest selection of outdoor travel. California, the West, Alaska to Mexico, Canada to South Africa. Outfitters, guides, lodges, and destinations. Your chance to meet the experts who'll make your trip unforgettable. California's largest sportsman's travel event is back, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Details at sportsexpos.com.
is, and the main thing, guys, I feel like this is somebody that we haven't talked about a lot. We did have that report from Brett Siegel, and it was about not much has changed when it comes to Zach LaVine and the Bucks. The Sacramento Kings have made it known that everyone on their roster, other than Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford, are available in trade talks. Milwaukee has done extensive scouting on the possibility of adding LaVine since the trade deadline last season. But he continues on to say the Bucks and Zach LaVine, that contract is just tough, right? It's just going to be tough for them to maneuver, which we all already knew, because when that came out, I thought they're really going to trade Kyle Kuzma and Bobby Portis for Zach LaVine. Yeah. That doesn't make a ton of sense. So as far as Zach LaVine is concerned, we're having all these conversations about accountability and defense and all of this. Why I was kind of worried, I should say, about Doug going down this path of accountability is that people are going to call you out if you don't hold that standard to everyone. Now, he has sat Zach LaVine before, right? Fourth quarters and things like that. But I do wonder where Zach LaVine now fits if he comes back. Could this get even squirrelier for Zach LaVine, who I guess is a little bit better at defense than Malik, and he is a better player, but there are times where I don't want to say he looks disengaged, but he kind of does, yeah. And I don't know where this thing goes. Malik is one thing, yeah, that's a bad contract. It's the 3 years, but then you have Zach LaVine, who is getting paid a lot more money, and we understand the basketball politics. I don't know what kind of happens when Zach LaVine returns with this new emphasis on defense, and Doug has always said scoring will just figure itself out. But yeah, I don't really know what the deal is and where this thing is going when Zach LaVine does return.
I think this is where there is kind of the politics of you traded your franchise player for this guy. Mm-hmm. And it'd be really hard to imagine. I think it's a reasonable conversation. It's just I struggle to imagine a scenario where Zach isn't out there playing 30-plus minutes every single night. Mm-hmm. He's still a guy that can have those nights like he did in Miami where he had, a 50 ball or something like that. And so he's still capable of all that stuff. I think that it's hard to not roll the guy that you traded your franchise player for out there. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know how much it's about rekindling value. I think there could be parts of that. Last year was maybe the best year of his career. Mm-hmm. And so he's been hyper efficient. It's just people know the flaws that exist already. And I don't know that you're changing the perspective of anybody, but I do think you got to try to get what you can out of the guy that you're paying $50 million to.
Yeah. Where are you at with this, Chris?
It's a tough situation because it just feels like if anybody's taking him off of our hands, it's a blessing. It's a Christmas miracle. Mm-hmm. And so I think, it's obviously, while he's on the team, it's exactly what Brendan said. I think it's just the I'll say unfortunate reality that he's just going to play. If he's here, he's going to play, and there's not really much getting around it. And maybe some point if he's here for a really if he just plays out his contract, maybe they get to the resignment where he is playing limited minutes or just not the guaranteed 35+ minutes. But if he doesn't go to Milwaukee, it feels like it's really hard to find the place where they would be willing to make that risk. Mm-hmm. Because it is just a massive. Anytime you're talking about it's either Zach LaVine or Michael Porter Jr., you're not negotiating from a position. I literally read a story this morning that said if Michael Porter Jr. didn't wear this special ankle brace that he's the only player in the league to wear, he couldn't pick up his foot. I have it right in front of me here. He said, "I'm still not fully pain free." He says the brace is also known as an ankle foot what is this? I'm sorry, an AFO, an ankle foot orthosis.
Is this from back in the day?
No, this is current. This article just dropped this week. He said, "quote It isn't easy to play with, and it severely restricts his natural movement, making the way he's able to defend quick forwards more impressive. If he didn't have it, he'd literally trip over himself because he wouldn't be able to pull up his foot when running. The AFO is critical in aiding that particular movement, also known as dorsal flexion." So there you go. More so saying again, that's Michael Porter Jr.'s situation. Yeah. Those are the two guys that Milwaukee is talking about bringing in. And, I guess that reading that made me feel better about maybe Milwaukee choosing Zach LaVine.
He's $10 million cheaper.
There's no guarantee. There's also no guarantee that they're going to pull the trigger. Because like you said, they're throwing out Bobby Portis and who was the other?
Kuzma.
And Kuzma. Like, I think the Kings fans especially, I think, would be really happy with that return. And it feels like if you're Milwaukee, that should raise some eyebrows. If the other side is really happy with their return and more so really happy to get off Zach LaVine, you should probably just keep what you got.
I also just find it hilarious that this is the second instance. Like, the only reason Milwaukee is even interested is because they are at like peak desperate times, right? This is their last ditch effort of Giannis is that where this all comes to a head is, does he agree to an extension this offseason, right? And maybe they'll move him in the middle of the year, but it feels like they probably have this year to try and convince him one last time to stay, right? And every time that this has come up in the past, they've done a move, right? Whether it's Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Miles Turner this last offseason. Like, it seems like they constantly are trying to do things to keep him around. And I just find it really ironic that the only other time Zach LaVine was actually movable in a trade was because the Sacramento Kings were super desperate. Yeah. And your scenario that you talked about of like, hey, when you're looking at the trade and the other team's super hyped to get it back, that's exactly what happened with Chicago, San Antonio. You know what I mean? Like, this is the reality of Zach LaVine's value around the league.
Yeah, and I do wonder, I mean, even for me with the Michael Porter Jr. thing, he is a little bit cheaper. And for the Bucks to even try to do a deal with the Nets, they don't have any first-round picks besides that one. I think it's 2032 or something like that.
Which, why would you trade that?
What, you're not going to trade that, and neither Bobby Portis nor nor Kyle Kuzma are expiring. So I don't know why the Nets would want that. They don't. Right. I don't think so, unless the Nets, we saw the Jazz are saying, hey, we're not going to stink too much longer. I think the Nets are pretty firm in the stink still. Yeah. So I don't necessarily know why they would trade for guys like that unless you think they're going to help you lose.
Or they just try and flip it later.
Right.
And semi-valuable
That's
pieces.
what they've done before with Cam Thomas, and they did with Mikal Bridges. So they're just kind of, I guess, almost pushing their timeline further down, and they stay out of trouble with the whole tanking stuff. And hey, we're making moves. So it's possible it ain't going to happen, next year because they're not expiring. So then I guess you rehab their value for a year, and then somebody goes and gets a Kuzma, or somebody goes and gets a Bobby Portis. So, and I think Bobby Portis still has a decent amount of value around the league. But yeah, the Zach LaVine thing to me is going to be fascinating when he comes back, because I know he has shown a lot of effort, and that's where Doug does have a little bit of leeway. It's not just about, well, Russell Westbrook turned the ball over 3 times in the first half. Well, he was doing that. He can make his own rules, but that doesn't necessarily mean that other people aren't going to kind of call him out for those said rules, right? It just that's where it is. And then the DeMar part of it, I mean, again, he's just going to say, well, we thought he was doing X and Y, and not to bring back the Malik thing, but yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything, like, we know Keon whacked Reed Shepherd, or didn't whack, but grazed Reed Shepherd enough that Doug thought it was a bad foul, and they brought him out. That was X happened, so Y result. We didn't really have an XY result for Malik Monk. I think there are going to be situations with Zach LaVine where there's not an X and Y result. But to your point, Brendan, that's just one that you probably just wear. You probably just say, hey, Doug, the brother got to get 30 a night. You know what I mean? We know Jeff Teague, the 520 pot. They'll tell you, hey, he needs to get 30. That's just what it is. Or
else why is he out there, to be honest, right? Like,
I'm saying 30 minutes a night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying I wish he would get 30 points, but
right. Shooting for 30, like yes, give him the minutes and hey, go out there and score. That's what you're here for. It's not the most conducive to the other guys out there, but to your, there wasn't an X that led to Y. The X is kind of just like his career, to be honest. There's no one specific moment, but I think it's been proven over time. And Scott Perry said it on his own podcast before all this happened, that or BJ Armstrong, that he hasn't proven to be a winning player.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that play out. Chris, it may have been you that pointed this out to me of when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, what else is he doing?
That was Biederman, actually.
Yeah, the other Chris. The better Chris.
Yeah, frankly.
Yeah. And so it's hard to figure out how Zach is benefiting his teammates a lot of times out there, to be honest. And being able to just score obviously is a way of doing that. But like Domas's greatest skill, and they're polar opposite players, but Domas's greatest skill is making his teammates better, right? Yeah. Like even DeMar has become a solid passer to this point in his career. And I think that I have a lot more faith when DeMar gets doubled that he's going to make the right decision with the ball in his hands than Zach, And so I think that there is just a long record here of, I guess I'm just leaning into the winning player thing and the lack thereof with Zach.
Allen, I'm curious if you would attach, because as we were to essentially force Milwaukee's hand, would you throw in a first-round pick for Zach? And I know it's been a hot-button topic, but I am more than ever starting to feel like it would be worth the squeeze to just get out of him, and especially if you get a guy like Bobby Portis and Kyle Kuzma, two guys that can maybe be usable or flipped elsewhere, like
protected.
I would be a lot more willing to do it, especially if it is truly like Brooklyn has an offer, Sacramento has an offer, Milwaukee's pretty split either way, and honestly, there could be a third option of just doing nothing.
Yeah.
I would want to try and incentivize Milwaukee to take that pick, to take Zach LaVine off of my hands as much as possible, because I think if you're the Kings, it just feels like as long as Sabonis and LaVine are going to be hunkered down with their contracts, you're just never going to get the ball rolling on what it is you truly want to do. And so it feels like addition by subtraction. And I feel like everything is risk management. I think getting Zach off would, to Brendan's point too, of Sabonis makes his teammates better. It just feels like if you want to get the wheels going on this thing at some point, getting Zach LaVine off the roster is the quickest way to make people start to feel good too. At some point too, it's about the fans not feeling great about their team.
Yeah, it's a couple years where you are, we'll talk about it on the other side, but a couple years where you get an opportunity to say, hey, Sabonis, here's some more size. You get Keegan back to the 3. I'll give my full answer in our last segment. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments, some restrictions apply.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
I'm with Vince Bloom, the big deal guy at Folsom Lake Dodge.
Vince! Actually, this time of year, you can call me the Holiday Big Deal Guy.
The Holiday Big Deal Guy!
Because during the wrap-up-the-year sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, you can save over $18,000 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4.
I'll take it.
And for a stocking stuffer,
keys to a Jeep,
a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Sport S. Right now, I've got one for only $36,995.
That's why they call you
the Big Deal Guy!
So over $18,000 off a Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab
and a Jeep Wrangler Sport for only $36,995. But you'll only find these big holiday deals at one place.
That's right, only one place.
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall.
But online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Ram includes 9873 dealer discount plus 8207 in national stackable and holiday bonus cash. Then SN 6267196. Jeep includes 4250 dealer discount plus 12750 in bonus national retail loyalty and holiday cash. Must be current owner of SCA vehicle to qualify for loyalty bonus cash. Then SW 543907. See dealer details, expires 1/2/26.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Hoblet's Wrap the Year Up sales event?
Get the best kind of gift, the kind that saves you money. Right now, save up to $13,500 off MSRP on the new 2026 heavy-duty Ram 25 and 3500s. And a little extra Christmas treat, no payments for 90 days.
Did you just say $13,500 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days on new 2026 Ram heavy duties?
Yep, 2026 is what I said, with some starting as low as $47,599. Plus, we have the best selection in Northern California, with over 400 new Ram trucks available and hundreds more on the way.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$14,500 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie after $3,500 factory rebates and $10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 holiday select inventory, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. $47,599 starting price on Ram 2500 Tradesman. VIN number 190143. 5 is net savings. See dealer for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A. in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Warrants reserved.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441.
For quality service you can trust, visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through January 4th at Big O, get $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Toyo, or Nexen brand tires.
Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not good with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
So what's
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Thank you once again to Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins. Couple more minutes with them, and then at 1 o'clock we're going over the NFL slate and the NBA slate over this Christmas break that we are about to get into. But first, I wanted to answer your question, Chris. Would I move a first for Zach LaVine? So it would be Zach LaVine and a first, protected, gotta be, right?
Could be whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
I don't necessarily see why it has to be protected. I mean, if I'm Milwaukee, I'm saying how bad do you want to get out of him?
And I'm saying enough that it's semi-protected.
There you go.
And because so here's my thing. Semi-protected Zach LaVine, you get Bobby Portis, who I know that we've kind of talked about Bobby Portis not being the Bobby Portis of old, right? He's 30 years old. He's got three more years, so 2 more years after this at $13.4 million, and then you get Kyle Kuzma at 2 more years. But honestly, you're doing this as almost an ode to Domantas Sabonis, right? They both fit Domantas Sabonis' timeline. The whole team would just make more sense. You get 2 guys that can play the forward position. You get Keegan back to the 3, and you could keep Dennis Schroeder. You can re-sign Russell Westbrook, whatever you want to do. It just makes more sense. So initially I was going to tell you no. And I was going to say no because, Bobby Marks, when he put out his article last week about the assets, he's already calling Zach LaVine an expiring contract. He's already looking ahead and how he's kind of viewed. And I think Zach LaVine has an expiring contract, which is what he will be next season. I'm just not really that opposed to holding on to him. So my initial thought was to say no, but I more so look at this, if it's a protected first, definitely not 2026, because it ain't going to be 2026.
Right.
But
there's also the Minnesota pick, 2031.
Yeah. I think This would be a situation where you
San
give
Antonio picks as well.
Yeah, and again, they never talk about Domantas Sabonis, so I don't know how much they care about Domantas Sabonis.
Yep.
But assuming they do care about somebody they're paying $45 million to, you give him 3 years and say, hey, buddy, this is what it is. I don't know. I know he's eligible for an extension this offseason, so that's going to be
Sabonis?
pretty. Yes.
Oh, let's not talk about
Well, I'm just saying, it's going to be spicy. It's
Okay.
going to be spicy.
I hope not.
But you do this deal and you say, hey, man, this is kind of the swan song here. We got, Dennis. We got, you would have to move on from DeMar because then you'd have a weird forward log jam. So you would probably move on from DeMar at the end of the season. You go into the next season with what? It would be Keegan. Bobby Portis would maybe start. I don't know, or
potentially,
Kyle
yeah.
Kuzma,
Yeah.
right? One of them
Yeah,
will
one of them is
start,
starting.
and then you get Domantas Sabonis, and then you would still have Dennis Schroeder, and whoever you want to fit in there.
Dang.
It could be Neek, it could be someone.
They might get 30 wins. Might mess around and get 30 wins.
Yeah, I mean, or you just don't do it and you let Zach LaVine just expire. That I'm not super pressed to move on from Zach LaVine.
Another year of this is a year and a half of this.
It
is
wouldn't
crazy.
be this though. Exactly.
I feel like it would be. It would just be people more resigned. Like I can't see it being better.
Is your worry that this is a bad environment for the young players to come in and all that, and just
No,
I
not
mean the
necessarily.
viewership of all this is the
I just think it's
experience
really,
of,
really terribly, tragically bad.
Yeah.
And I think you at least become a professional basketball team if you get in that swap because of
Right.
even just like Allen said, just things making more sense. Like I think you can say 30 wins or whatever, but I
Right.
think you're actually like an NBA basketball team. But again, this all comes down to I don't know what the Kings' goal is truly.
That's what I was going to go to.
Because I think they are again more competitive. Like I could imagine. You maybe make a 2026 draft pick and maybe a one good free agency signing. I don't think it would be crazy to say we're right back in the play-in conversation next year, and who
Right.
knows where that leads. But
trade for one of those point guards,
Yeah.
like you could be right back in it.
It's a mini double down where you're adding two guys. They're on the same timeline with Domantas Sabonis. Either you're better or you're not.
it's a snow globe shape.
Yes,
That's what I think.
It's either you're better or you're not. I think to Chris's point, you won't be better as presently constructed.
Right.
But either way, I do think next season, even if they hold on to Zach LaVine, my argument is that it will look different because I do think DeMar will be gone, and there's a chance that Malik is gone too.
Sure, yeah.
So I just think it's not going to be.
That's
I
fair.
just don't see it being this bad either way,
I
even
also wonder.
with Zach LaVine.
Sorry, last thing. I also wonder if you made the point. If this is the best you could get for Zach LaVine. You said
Yeah.
like you want to hold on to Zach because maybe the expiring contract. I can't imagine even next year in an expiring contract you're going to get as good as those two players.
If he goes
Now, granted,
back
you
to
might get
Chicago,
assets
if he goes back to
potentially,
what
but-
he did in that season,
Right.
but he hasn't been that this season.
Right. Well, even then, I don't know if he would. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'd be willing to just wait it out.
Sure.
I think.
I don't think there's a right answer.
If you want to, it
wanna
comes
hold on
back
to
to
those
Sabonis.
picks, too.
It comes back to Sabonis. If you
Right.
want to give Sabonis an opportunity, even if a small one, then you do it.
Right? Are
If
we
you-
fully resetting?
Yeah.
or not?
If you
Right,
don't
like-
care about Sabonis, then don't do it. And he's probably going to ask out. But that's what I said last week. He's probably going to ask out.
Yeah.
So I do it. If my goal is to make Sabonis happy and put him in a competitive spot, I do it. If I don't care, which kind of signals that they don't, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I just let Zach expire.
Yeah, I would. I'm a hard no for what it's worth, but I think that it's dependent on what Chris said. What do the Kings want here? Is the goal to eventually win a championship, or are you just trying to get back to relevancy? Because there are, if your goal is a championship, then you can stomach another year of being booty. Like, as much as it's not fun, and you probably don't want to this extent, but if that's your goal, that's the process, and sure, you could try to fast track it. You go at LaMelo Ball, Darius Garland, and say you get a top 5 pick this year. All of a sudden, it's AJ DeBonsa, Darius Garland, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. It's like, hey, that's kind of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still think that you don't. Maybe you're getting your number one in that scenario, but I don't think selling off future draft capital for the sake of moving on from a guy that is just going to be gone next year anyway. Not next year, but the following season. And it's probably a lot easier when he's an expiring to be like, hey, bro, there's a month till the trade deadline. Let's just sit down, go back home to L.A., and we're going to figure something out,
Yeah. Real quick, I guess the Dylan Cardwell thing is pretty interesting. he's got to find some type of just a push shot. Give me a push shot. Give
the
me
free
something.
throw looks better.
Yeah.
It's a low starting point.
A low starting
Yeah. Just
Spicy
give me
take
something.
Here. I think Dylan should start, and I think Maxime is more of a bench guy. I just think it makes more sense that way. I think
like that.
I think
This
Dylan.
guy. I
think-
kinda like that.
I think Dylan is more of just like a hey, like if you're playing with the starters, that's a lot of talent out there. You just need a guy who's doing dirty work. Maxime clearly has more stuff to his game, and I think off the bench, you need more stuff to your game versus Dylan is just always going to be a lob threat. He can be a lob threat with the starters.
Right.
I just don't, I think he's made great impact, but I just think
works well
if we're trying to puzzle piece this perfectly, I think
Yeah.
in the long run, too, Maxime probably projects more to be a really decent backup center than a low-level starter.
I'll even throw out here,
We'll
we're
see.
feeding your next segment here. I think Precious should start at the 5.
See, all right, that's it for these guys. That's Brendan Nunes.
Happy
that's
New
Chris
Year.
Watkins. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays. We'll be talking, but thank you for spending the time. Our last round table, so we went over on time a little bit, but you two are worth it. On the other side, let's keep the conversation going. And the NBA slate, NFL slate. Which one you picking this Christmas? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When value matters, Elk Grove Chevrolet delivers. Right now, lease a new Chevrolet Silverado LT for $250 per month plus tax. The Silverado 1500 stands out with composed handling, competitive towing, payload, roomy cabin, and fuel economy. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com for full lease details. Don't miss your chance to drive the new Chevrolet Silverado. Stop by Elk Grove Chevrolet today and experience quality that goes the distance.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their Rudolph with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. With the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space, so they're no longer longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates, all for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for kittens talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m., one more hour with you. Thanks again to Chris Watkins and Brendan Nunez. You know, we were looking at the different options that we have next week, and we might have, I don't know, some version of a round table. I don't think it'll be everyone because some of us are out, but it might not be the last round table. We might have one more of the year. That will be next week. But thanks again to Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins as we have entered the 1 o'clock hour, the fourth hour of the Allen Stiles Show. And something that we wanted to discuss is this NFL slate and the NBA slate. But before we get there, there was something that I was thinking about. Now, I know we've talked about the betting odds, right, for the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl winner, okay, and how these have moved around a little bit, and you know, who do you trust, who do you not trust? I'm seeing this here on on ESPN.com, and it's got the Rams at plus 400, the Seahawks at plus 500, the Broncos are plus 850. The Patriots are plus 900, and the Bills are plus 900. And then you get the Eagles at 10-1, Jacksonville 13-1, Houston 15-1, tied with the Packers. The Chargers at 19-1, the Niners at 20-1, the Bears at 20-1, the Steelers at 35-1, and you know, after that you got the Bucks at 80-1. So, you know, you have a couple different moves that have been made, right? And this was actually written before the Niners played, so things could have changed a little bit. And the biggest thing when you look at how things have changed, I'm looking here, the Niners are still plus 1,300. They didn't move a lot. We know if they win out, Adam Schefter just posted this, if they win out, then they would have 5 straight games en route to the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl, or at the Super Bowl, they have another home game because it is in Santa Clara. So, you know, that would be a crazy, crazy turn of events. And if you are going to be missing your best D end, right, in Nick Bosa, and you are going to be missing your best linebacker in Fred Warner, who might be back at some point, the way that you kind of power through that is by getting home games because everyone typically plays better at home. But to that same kind of aspect of this, when you're watching certain teams across all sports, right,
And I get it. If you're a champion, a lot of times you get that nod, right? But when you would watch the Chiefs do their thing with Patrick Mahomes, when you would watch, I would even say, the Yankees in the 2000s, and I know it seems like I'm just naming off dynasties, but that's kind of part of it. The Warriors, regardless of, when they had KD, or especially when they had KD, but also prior to that, the Miami Heat, teams like that, you just knew that they were going to figure out a way. And what's interesting is going into this Super Bowl, who do you trust? And I don't know that I trust anybody, right? And I look at the Rams at plus 470. The Rams got some real tricked off losses this season. They lost to Mac Jones where they kind of got smacked. They had they've blown at least 2 games, one of them to the Seahawks, or I think that Mac Jones game, I think that was the one when when Kyron Williams didn't get the first down. It was 4th and 1, whatever it was. So yeah, they then beat the Niners once, they got their bleep together. But I don't really trust the Rams. I don't really trust, I don't trust the Seahawks. When it gets to the Buffalo Bills, we haven't seen Josh Allen do it before. Then you come to the Eagles, who have the 4th best odds, and the Eagles are interesting because they're the Super Bowl champs. That should be the team that you say, oh yeah, those are the reigning champs. When it comes down to it, I'm trusting them to figure out a way to get it done. But because of all of the malarkey that has happened this season with the Eagles, I don't really trust them. And Jalen Hurts has been up and down with what he's done this season. So I think the fascinating thing about this season is the next default that I have when you look at, I'm just going down the list here, the Broncos. Yeah, you got Sean Payton, Super Bowl winning coach, but you got the Broncos, the Patriots. They're all kind of new to this. I know that organization is used to winning, but it's a whole new cast. The Jaguars and Duval, the Texans, same thing. That leads me to the Niners. And if the Niners were playing really any of these NFC teams, I'd probably just give them the nod because eliminating the Eagles, the next team based on the past, right, which is kind of what you're going off of, who has the same core from the past, or a recent past, I should say, who has that same core, it would be the Niners. That has gotten the furthest. So if you eliminate the Eagles and the Chiefs aren't playing and the Commanders was the other team in the NFC Championship, I just kind of revert back to what I do know, and I do know Kyle Shanahan knows how to get to the Super Bowl. We haven't seen him win the Super Bowl, but he's another guy that fell at the hands of Patrick Mahomes. And I think that's the other storyline. Everybody will talk about what Josh Allen doesn't have to deal with. I mean, Josh Allen, they call him the 4 horsemen, right? The 4 quarterbacks. Josh Allen is the only horseman available, right? Lamar out again with the back. Joe Burrow, they're not going to make the playoffs. And Patrick Mahomes is out with ACL. So Josh Allen, out of the 4 horsemen of the top 4 quarterbacks, or how most people view the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen is the only one that will be in the playoffs. So everybody's talking about the unfinished business that Josh Allen has and how, hey, he's got a clear path. There's no Patrick Mahomes getting his way. Josh Allen has had other issues in the past besides Patrick Mahomes, but that would be a big one. The other part of this is, besides an elbow, Brock Purdy's elbow, the only thing to get in Kyle Shanahan's way has been Patrick Mahomes. So that's something that I would lean on more so than anything else as I'm trying to pick a Super Bowl winner. And they could get home field if they beat the Bears. If they don't beat the Bears, I think this thing gets completely topsy-turvy. But as of right now, we don't know whether they're going to win or not. So if they do get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, you don't got to worry about Brock in the rain. You don't got to worry about, I guess it could rain out here in Santa Clara, but you don't got to worry about Brock in the rain. You don't got to worry about Brock in the weather, in the snow, anything like that. It's a huge advantage. I've always said this, even when and you don't want to draft a quarterback like this, but the Dolphins, they did have a path to at least do something. They just would have needed the number 1 seed, right? Or there's a little bit of luck involved where they just don't have to go to a cold weather stadium. They did have some good runs, but once the Dolphins weren't going to win the AFC East and they lose here, lose there, and you don't get lucky and you got to go to Kansas City. They're moving to Kansas, by the way. I just saw that. But once you got to go to Kansas City, you got to go to Buffalo. That's a wrap. Even when you get there, right? You luck out and the Super Bowl is in New Orleans or in a dome. That's different. So this stuff, things do have to break for you. And the Niners could be in a situation where it breaks for them if they beat the Bears, right? And right now...
That's the operative word, if.
If. And right now, I'm looking at all the other... We can keep going. The Packers, Jordan Love with that injury, they got to check in on that. The Bears, it's kind of their first year back in the dance, and they're doing it with, obviously, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. The Chargers, Harbaugh has been there, but... You know, the Chargers to me are a kind of shady pick to just keep an eye on. I know how the saying goes, Chargers going to Charger, but they are a shady pick to me just because it would depend on their path, of course, but just because the AFC is such a mess and I do like their skill players. I think you have a possession receiver in Keenan Allen. They got Gadsden, the tight end, who's kind of been quiet these last couple weeks. I wish their running game was a little bit better, but I do like the collection of skill players. Oh, you got Quentin Johnson as your deep threat. So I do like the Chargers at, what is it, plus 1,700, just because the AFC is a bit of a mess to me.
I mean, the Chargers would be much different if they had a certain running back from Antioch. But unfortunately, he did what you did. He tore his Achilles.
Yeah, and now they're kind of doing the two-headed monster thing. And, you know, it all depends on their path. But I look at them, and the Jaguars are the sexy team. We'll see what they do to close out the season. Everybody's back on them. After that, you know, I mean, you got the Steelers at plus 4,000. Anything is possible, but your Aaron is doing this. DK is going to be suspended the last 2 games. As we talked about, first team all bag fumble. It's going to cost him $45 million because you can't put hands on somebody like that. You know, and I was talking to a buddy of mine about the Steelers situation with the Browns going back to the Myles Garrett thing. And that was bad. Don't get me wrong. That was bad. But we're entering a whole nother stratosphere when we're talking about player to fan. Player to player, you know, it was bad, don't get me wrong, but it's just you got lawsuits, it's just a whole bunch of different stuff when you're talking about putting hands on a fan. So the Steelers to me, and I wouldn't have paid DK that money anyway, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he's the elite of the elite wide receivers to begin with, on top of the stuff you got to deal with.
I mean, why do you think Seattle moved off him? They got probably the best receiver in the league right now this season.
Yeah, so you got Aaron Rodgers throwing to Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell and Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth and DK when he's around.
I mean, they've had Freiermuth for years.
Yeah, and Jonnu Smith, who doesn't even do anything on the team.
He runs the football more than he catches passes.
So, you know, there's nothing really to talk about there. So the AFC, I don't even know how I would line this stuff up. It's the Bills just by default. I don't love their receiver group, but I love James Cook.
I don't know. The only reason why I question the Bills, if they don't win the division, they'd have to find a way to win 3 road games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big question mark. Can they go on the road and win 3 road games to get out to Santa Clara?
Yeah. So, you know, in the AFC, if you're saying, oh, well, who do you trust to figure it out and get it done in the end? If the Bills and the Broncos, and both teams have had some comeback victories. I know the Broncos have had some really fun comebacks, but the Bills and the Broncos, if it's tied 21-21 with 2 minutes left, hey, don't let you're going to say don't let Josh Allen get the ball. Sure.
But I also don't think the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl. If that's in a Super Bowl atmosphere and that's against the Niners, that's been something that a lot of people have wanted to see for a while, just because, when the Niners are fully loaded and the Bills and just the idea, the Brock Purdy versus Josh Allen. One guy is the super quarterback. The other guy is just, the cerebral quarterback. So a lot of people have wanted to see that. But I don't know how much I would trust Josh Allen to drive the ball down the field. Not because he doesn't have the ability, just because we haven't seen him do it quite yet. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And I do think it's a fun time in the NFL, as much as some people think that it's been a boring season. I think it's been the opposite of boring. I think people are uncomfortable when they don't have a clear favorite. I think that's why some people don't like it. But I like it. I enjoy it right now. 916-339-1140. Let's get to our guy, TC. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Hey, man, Ramsey Allen. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What you got?
Well, check it out, man. So I'm kind of thinking about just getting everything over. I know it takes two to tango, right? Mm-hmm. But if we're looking for some simple moves that we can do to add on to what we're going to do moving forward, just simple moves like a simple move with Portland, right? Shoot Keon over there to Portland for Chris Murray and their 2026 second-round pick, right? So not only do you get the second-round pick that you wanted, we're not going to get a first for Keon unless somebody bend over, and I don't see that happening. But you can get Chris Murray, length, 6'8" guys that you can either turn into a 3-and-D wing or you just have length on your team that this Sacramento Kings team needs. Also, you get a second-round pick. And then you pick up the phone and you call New York. I know y'all been fishing around Dennis Schroeder, Mike. You want a backup point guard? Well, give us Mitchell Robertson and Landry Shamet for the boy. Now we got length and we got a center and we can move forward with that. What y'all think?
Thanks for the call, TC. And I would say I think the main thing about it's funny because, I don't know, I feel like Chris Murray would be a guy that Kings fans would just be happy to get him. So TC said Chris Murray and a second. Chris Murray is starting on the Blazers. I know the Blazers have had some injuries and they got a losing record, but Chris Murray does look better than in years past. But I guess I'll throw it to you, Ramsey.
This is what we talking about when we were on a football flow?
No, I hear you. But, I'm going to give him my answer. But I don't know. Would you rather take Chris Murray for Keon or Dalton?
Dalton Connect.
I'm to the point where I want to see what other players have, because Chris has gotten an opportunity and Dalton hasn't. So
that and everybody wants to be enamored trying to reunite Chris and Keegan.
Yes. And then the Dennis Schroeder thing, I haven't seen any smoke on Dennis Schroeder to the Knicks. I mean, yeah, they have Brunson and they have Jordan Clarkson and they got Miles McBride.
Yeah, Deuce McBride.
Yeah, so I don't know where you were hearing that, TC, but I don't think that would happen. But Mitchell Robinson would be cool. But it sounds like you're trying to get Sabonis out the paint. Thanks for the call, TC. But yeah, Ramsey, as far as who you trust besides your Bears, who would you say, hey, all right, team A, team B, and, just the feeling that you had with the Chiefs that they're going to figure it out outside of your Bears, who right now do you trust?
Which conference are we referring to?
Let's do both.
If it wasn't the Bears, it'd probably be the Rams.
Yeah,
but the main thing is depends on where the game will be.
Yeah.
Because if the Seahawks end up winning the division, the Rams are going to have to do the same thing as the Bills, win 3 road games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have any faith in any one of these potential teams to go on the road and win 3 road games to get to Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. If they found a way to get to the game, if they found a way to get a game or two with SoFi, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, AFC to me is wide open. I mean, I could go. I mean, again, you said Broncos, Bills. If the Bills are on the road, I have to default to Denver because Denver's at home. I don't know where we're at. I know they're not getting as much publicity, much pub as what people are saying. I can't look past Jacksonville.
You would put Jacksonville over the Patriots?
Again, depends on where the game's at. If the Patriots are the 1 seed, I'd have to lean Patriots because it'd be in Foxborough, and Jacksonville would have to deal with the elements.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it depends, not just matchups, it depends on location.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's
I need an answer. I need an answer.
now?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say out of the teams that I know are going to be in it, I'd probably go Broncos, Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, Broncos is a good pick. Maybe I am sleeping on the Rams a bit. They've just had some bad losses.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, if it wasn't the Bears, I could see the Rams. I could potentially see the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm saying, I need the playoff seating solidified to know whether, for example, whether it's the Seahawks or the Rams going on the road.
Yeah,
that's the major that's the major biting factor for me to potentially figure this out.
Kimberly says the Chargers are going to the Super Bowl. I don't know that they are, Kimberly, but I do like them at plus 1,700.
Chargers still find a way to charge her. I don't. And again, like I said yesterday, I'm gonna say it today. Andy's got a broken hand. I don't know how much faith I could put in Air Bear. And if you make that team one-dimensional, which technically they almost are right now on the offensive side, because I'm not sold on the running game with Omari Hampton and Kamani Vidal.
Mm-hmm.
If you can shut down the passing game, which
they've been shut down before,
which can be done, they'll be done.
Yeah, and that's why I know for a while they were talking about the redundancy with Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was kind of taking Ladd's. I know I said Keenan Allen is the possession receiver. I think that's the issue. They both are. One guy talk about prop talk. Both of them are not. If you play in prop talk on the Chargers, do not take both of them.
No.
Do not take both of them because that's not how it's either going to be Gadsden's going off with McConkey and maybe you get one long pass to Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson will just go missing for a couple games. So, I like the Chargers.
I like more – I'm fond of more people on the defensive side of the ball for the Chargers than I am the offensive side. And that's and it's mainly, always got respect for Khalil Mack. And I like their DBs one DB, and technically I believe he's a linebacker, not a DB. Deion Henley and D. James. Derwin James to me is he still may be one of the best DBs in the league.
Yeah.
That dude is a beast.
On the other side, we got the NFL slate and the NBA slate for you for Christmas. And of course, it is time to get you ready for Kings Pistons. The Kings taking on the number one team in the East. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Our country is held together by small businesses. That's a fact. It's also a fact that 9 out of 10 of those small businesses will fail. Why? Because it's hard, really, really hard to build a profitable business from the ground up today. Pure Talk knows that. They started as a small American wireless company determined to keep their customer service in this country. It worked. And today, Pure Talk is determined to help other small businesses prosper by offering them the same white glove service the big guys get. Same service, same 5G network at a truly affordable price. Pure Talk is focused on businesses that employ welders and roofers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, the people who keep the lights on. If that sounds like your business, give Pure Talk Business a try and see just how much you could save. Dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who understands the power of small business. Pure Talk.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800 gambler.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At Sierra Pacific, your home's comfort comes first. Need fast heating or plumbing you can trust? Our skilled, friendly technicians are ready when you need them. Save 10% on heating or plumbing repairs this holiday season. Get a heating system tune-up for just $79. Call today or visit SierraPacificHome.com. Legendary service and craftsmanship since 1984.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Talking to my buddy Max, who is a Seahawks fan, says, "You're tripping. NFC West is winning the Super Bowl." I said, I trust the Niners. He said, "That's arguably the least trustworthy team of the three." Well, the only argument for that is that the Rams and Seahawks do have more recent Super Bowls than the Niners, but the Niners have been to the Super Bowl much more often.
Who's he a fan of again? Say that again.
He's a fan of the Seahawks.
And he thinks the NFC West is going to be the team representing the NFC in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
I mean, I hope he was just listening to the show and heard the song I was playing. I mean, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, the betting odds say the same thing, to be fair. I mean, they got the Rams plus 470 and the Seahawks plus 650. So, two NFC West teams, they are number one. If you're making me choose, I'm not choosing Sam Darnold.
One of them has to go on the road.
Yeah, I can't choose Sam Darnold. I hope he proves me wrong.
Two of the three are going to have to go on the road.
Yeah. I hope he proves me wrong. The Rams, look, we were talking about trust on the other side and which teams do you trust. And I said I would eliminate the Eagles because of all the clownery that they have going on. So in reality, I said I'd go to the Niners because they've been to a Super Bowl more recently, even with the injuries. But if you're looking at it like that, you kind of have to go to the Rams because they do have that Super Bowl. And, they got the Super Bowl winning quarter. Actually, if you look at it like that, Ramsey, the Rams, this season, this go-round, the Rams, they got the only Super Bowl winning quarterback that would be, besides Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford would be the two. But again, I'm eliminating the Eagles because they on some clown stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust the Eagles. Definitely don't trust whoever's coming out the NFC South.
No.
Definitely
no.
don't.
With the Panthers, that's just a good story.
I think whoever comes out the NFC South is going to be potentially one of the home teams that actually loses on the first weekend.
Yeah, Jason Ross was saying if you don't get the first seed, then you'd probably want the 5th seed to take on, no disrespect, either the Bucks, who just cannot. I mean, they're actually healthy now, and it's still a mess. And I like Todd Bowles because he coached at Temple. Yeah. So I got love for Todd Bowles, but what is going on?
I could feed into the famous kid line. They've lost 6 of 7.
Yeah, they sure have.
But
they sure have. And that was a bad pick from Baker. It just was. That's just the reality of the situation.
I mean, again, NFC South, what quarterback would you have more faith in? Baker Mayfield or Bryce Young?
You know what's funny is at the beginning of the season, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
But now, I'm still going Baker because I got to go Baker, but I don't like, neither of them are playing great.
No.
Neither of them are. Actually, Bryce is playing better than Baker. That's what I would say.
And I would say of the two teams, if they had a home game, I'd have more faith in Carolina than I would Tampa Bay. Carolina plays better at home than they do on the road.
Yeah, Tampa, they find ways to lose on the road and at home. But all right, real quick before we get, and by the way, we have the injury report to get to. No real surprises as far as the Kings and Pistons are concerned. Ron Holland is questionable. I was telling Ramsey, I know he was a high pick. I don't know how much I've ever gotten to see him play. He's had some injuries, and the Pistons aren't on national TV a lot, so I would like to see Ron Holland tonight. No, you won't be seeing Isaac Jones. No Isaac Jones revenge game. He's on assignment with the G League. Karis LeVert is questionable with an injury and an illness.
He stays hurt.
Yeah, Wendell Moore Jr., two-way guy. And for the Kings, Devin Carter is doubtful. It looks like he messed up his ankle during that G League showcase. That's just what we're assuming because he was down there doing his thing in Orlando. Drew Eubanks out. Zach LaVine out. Dougie McBuckets is available. He was initially questionable. And Daquan Plowden, our guy, out on a G League stint. And DeMontis Sabonis out. Isaiah Stevens also out on a G League two-way stint. So, no real surprises. We'll see what happens with Karis LeVert and Ron Holland II. And hopefully the Kings can figure some things out. I mean, as far as, who they have and how things are going to match up here, just looking at the Pistons' last game where they beat the Blazers by 8. Tobias Harris, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Duncan Robinson, and Cade Cunningham. That is quite the starting lineup. Tobias had 12. Asar Thompson had 18. Jalen Duren had 26. I'm actually excited to see Asar Thompson. I feel like I see Ahmed Thompson all the time, but don't get to see Asar Thompson as much. Duncan Robinson with 15. Cade Cunningham with 14 and 9. That's just really evenly distributed.
And Cade fouled out.
Yeah.
He fouled out, got teed up. Almost got kicked out after fouling out.
Jaden Ivey with 11. We were just talking about Jaden Ivey, and they're kind of ramping him back, so we'll see. We know what he did last time he was in Sacramento. We do remember that. But as far as the matchups are concerned, this is another.
It doesn't really matter.
And this, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
That it's not the anniversary because it's not the same date, but kind of. It
doesn't really matter.
That's when it all went down, man.
That was the game.
Don't foul the three. And I told Fox, don't foul the 3-shooter. Oh, my goodness. I can't go.
It doesn't really matter.
I can't go back into that world right now. But this is the stuff we're talking about, right? And we spent a lot of time talking about the basketball politics with Malik Monk. But the reality is every day, because somebody was saying, well, Malik didn't play a lot because the Blazers are big. Listen to this. Tobias Harris, Asar Thompson, 6'7". Jalen Duren, who's just shredded out of his mind. Duncan Robinson and Cade Cunningham. Now I get it, Malik is coming off the bench, but you got Paul Reed. Yeah, you could guard Jaden Ivey. Karis LeVert got some size. Then you got Isaiah Stewart coming off the bench.
Beef stew.
All these teams have size. It's not just we just played the Rockets and the Blazers. Keep going. All of them have size. That's why, to me, it's not about Malik. They won that game against the Rockets, but running Schroeder and Russell Westbrook together as a 1-2, I guess you could say it's not a great deal, but also Malik is the same size, and Keon depends on where you look it up. He's a little bit taller, but the larger issue, and this is what Doug was, it's not a log jam, it's just the distribution of where things are. So to bring
you talking about Detroit, move down to the next game on our roster, Dallas, on Saturday.
It's the same, yeah. It just
Coop, PJ Washington, AD if healthy.
Yeah.
Daniel Gafford.
Oh, well, we saw.
Yeah.
We already saw in the play-in. They got blown out. They got blown out, and they had Valanciunas at that time.
At the time.
And Sabonis.
And they had Trey Lyles.
So, I'm looking at this here, and you go to Cade Cunningham goes, what, 6'6"? He's not a small guard.
6'6", 6'7".
So, every single day when you talk about these matchups, there's going to be issues. So, what they've been doing lately, you're going to have, and I'm very fascinated to watch Maxime Reynaud on Jalen Duren. To Chris's point, I didn't fully agree with the Dylan Cardwell thing. This could be a spot, though, because I want to see what it looks like, but I also feel like it's just beef to beef. If it was Cardwell,
Jalen Duren will move Dylan Cardwell off the block.
Well,
too.
he's gonna move either of them.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why he'd move Dylan Cardwell off the block, he's got much better foot speed and he's got better basketball IQ.
Yeah. So you got, I don't know about the IQ thing. We don't know. Dylan, and it's so funny because they're all about the same age, but they're just based on when they get signed. So you got Maxime taking on Jalen Duren. Where do you use Keegan Murray here? Because it feels like you're using him on Cade. You're using him on Cade. You put Russ on Duncan Robinson. You put DeMar on Tobias.
Yeah, you can put DeMar on J. Cole.
And you're putting I guess it depends on who they're starting there, but you're sticking whoever is left on Asar. In this situation, it would be Precious.
No, I'd put Precious on Jalen Duren. Yeah.
You put Precious on Tobias?
No. I was going to say Precious on Jalen Duren, but then, yeah, you got to figure out who's going to be on Asar.
Yeah.
Because Asar's too athletic for Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah.
He's too quick.
I think you're probably going to put Keegan. But here's my thing, right? I know that he's not starting anymore, but isn't this what they talked about, saying Dennis Schroeder is going to shore up the defense? And I get it, Cade is a dog, but isn't this a night where Keegan shouldn't have to guard the point guard in theory?
Not tonight, no. I got to have Keegan on Cade.
I hear you, but that's how they talked about it at the beginning of the season.
Talking and reality are two different things.
So Keegan on Cade, Russ on Duncan.
I put Russ on Asar.
Yeah. Russ on Asar, DeRozan on Duncan, and then you have Keegan on or Keegan's already.
You can have Precious Achiuwa on Tobias Harris. That's not that bad.
Precious on Tobias, and then Maxime. We just gonna see how it pops, man.
Yeah, I mean that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Or like I said, you put Precious on Jalen Duren. I mean, you're giving up height. And then put Maxime on Tobias Harris.
I think I saw, it might have been against the Nuggets where they ran it, and this was early on in Maxime's starting stint, but they weren't starting, or Maxime was not guarding Jokic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, and look, Jalen Duren is not Jokic. He's just a different beast, literally a different beast.
That's just a wider body in comparison to Maxime. Broad shoulder type. Precious Achiuwa has broader shoulders than Maxime right now.
Yeah.
But you're giving about 3 to 4 inches in height because, they listed Achiuwa at 6'8". I think he's probably about 6'6".
Yeah, depends on what shoes he's wearing tonight.
And again, where you find the listings at.
Yeah. Whitey Gleason joins us to close out the last show pre the Christmas holiday. We got a little prop talk to get into. And Whitey and I are hot. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140. Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root off with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Tune in for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Allen Stiles.
Well,
Santa Stiles.
that just about. I got enough gray coming in my beard. I could be.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious. People are like, is that the light? And it used to be the light. Now it's not the light. Now it's straight up.
Distinguished.
Yeah, it's more turning more salt and pepper these days, Whitey. But hey, that's kind of a part of the deal. Whitey Gleason joins us, and not a super short show today, right? Because
No.
yeah,
We do have Kings basketball. I just have a question. Where's my money? Show me the money.
Hey, you know what? The problem with Schmal and Miles is when you connect a quarterback to a receiver, on that team, they lower the payout. So Schmallen did not play your 18 completions for Phillip Rivers, which did hit.
It hit
so
like
good for you.
Halfway through the first
Oh,
quarter.
my goodness. Well, okay, and that's what we kind of kicked this thing off talking about. The initial take is, whoa, the Niners defense got shredded by Phillip Rivers. Then I woke up this morning and I thought, teams do this with LeBron. Hey, LeBron, go score 50. Teams do this with Jokic. Hey, Jokic, go score 50. We don't want you to score 30 with 15 assists, something like that. Am I giving the Niners too much credit if I said they kind of felt like your arm only has so many bullets? If you want to throw for
Probably,
200,
yeah.
Okay, you think they probably would have. Obviously, they didn't
I don't
want
think you're
Alec
giving too much
Pierce
credit. Yeah, that's probably
to
what
give.
their
I mean,
strategy.
and I got Alex Pierce on my fantasy. I'm going to the championship, so thank you,
I was
Niners.
going to ask you about that.
Oh,
yeah.
we're going, baby. We're going. It's going to be tough, but we are
could
going.
relax pretty easy, right? Watch
Oh,
that
yeah.
game last
Oh.
night. I was like, okay.
The first touchdown,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. The second one, I'm like, oh, my goodness, this is great. But, yeah, maybe I'm giving them a little too much credit, but I do think, to simplify it, they stacked the box and said, like you would say to a young quarterback, but in a different way, go beat us with your arm. We just don't think you can do it. And on the other side, the Colts couldn't stop a sneeze
That
last
was the
night.
key, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then even though, Phillip Rivers was moving the ball through the air, but then he had to play from behind, even though he had success. It's like, wait a minute, what more do I have to do here?
Where do you think I'm looking here? They bring in Riley Leonard at the very end and just have him hand the ball off 3 times and then throw. It was just kind of random. Okay, they got 2 more games left. I don't know if they're mathematically out of it. Maybe not if they get some help.
Yeah, they're not technically, but it's really close.
You let them finish it out, or do you just go back to Riley? Just let them finish the season?
I think once they're done, he probably will say, all right, this has been great. See you later.
Once they're eliminated?
Yeah.
So if because here's the other thing. They lose to the Jags, who have a really good defense, and they're done. After that, they got the Texans. Do you really want him going up against the Texans?
No.
There's
And
no
it just
need for
doesn't-
that.
No one benefits.
We don't need to see that.
Unless they say, look, we really appreciate it. Do you want to play? It's up to you. And he goes, yeah, I'd like to one last hurrah.
I was listening to the broadcast, and Troy Aikman was cracking me up because he's literally chuckling when Phillip Rivers is trying to get out of the pocket. But they brought up, hey, and maybe they hand the keys back over and Riley Leonard gets a head start on next season. Are they blaming the whole thing on Riley Leonard's injury? Because if I'm Riley Leonard, why am I here? I don't understand that.
Well, if you could blame it on anybody's injury, it's the other quarterbacks.
Well,
Richardson's eye.
But I guess Riley Leonard is not really in their plans, right? They've had a couple different mess ups. But if I'm Riley Leonard, I guess it's just a random tryout. But you've already skipped over me for Phillip Rivers.
You're playing for a UFL job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Phillip Rivers, I haven't seen a quarterback play like that since Peyton. And I know it's impressive, but it's just kind of annoying. I don't know why.
All the
Every
changes?
play. Hey, watch it. Hey, kill.
Yeah.
Every play. And obviously he's brilliant at it, but it gets
It's
kind of annoying.
Maybe young quarterbacks need to do that more.
Yeah,
change
but
some
they
stuff
can't,
up. No, they can't, but that's what I'm saying. It's a lost art because you got Brock. I can't hear.
I think in Shanahan's system, it's like you don't have the flexibility to do that.
No. And he'll try to defend
play,
it.
And then there's another play, and if you ain't running one of those, you have no option.
Yeah, and he'll try to defend it. No, Brock has he can audible at it. No. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 you'll let him, but he ain't saying bird call, 5, nacho.
Yeah.
He's not doing all that.
Hey, what are you doing after the game? No, not right after.
Them touchdown passes being Thomas, most of it being Thomas.
Yeah.
But instead, the ball.
No Omahas, none of that. You're right. To me, I enjoyed it, and weirdly enough, Was the Manning cast not on?
I don't know. I know they had that other thing with all 22s.
That's what I saw on.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I saw on because
Kuechly and
because I know I hate on the Manning cast, but that specifically would be a Manning cast I would have watched because of Phillip Rivers. Because I really don't watch them, but that would have been one I watched.
Did you watch any of the whatever it was, Monday Night Football?
What, the all 22 thing?
Yeah.
I turned it on at halftime because I thought it was the Manning cast, and I thought they'd be interviewing The Rock or Kevin Hart, and then it was not them. It was Dan Orlovsky. I heard Dan Orlovsky's voice, so I just turned it off. I just turned it off and just waited for halftime to end. But yeah, the Niners now control their fate. They have a huge showdown with Ramsey's Bears coming up this Sunday, and it's going to be a fun one, man. I have no clue which way it's going to go, but I do feel like if the Niners do get this one, I would say this. If you are headed to Reno or Vegas, I would get the Niners at plus 1,300, because if they get this one, I know they would still have the Seahawks, but if they get this one, I think the Niners are going to shoot up as far as their odds are concerned.
I just think, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think come playoff time against better offenses, it's really going to be an issue for them keeping up.
Okay, so you think they're giving up too many? Yeah. You know what's funny is, again, I got the Niners as my defense, and even the game prior, they're not getting me any points. And not that anybody cares about my fantasy, but the point is they're giving up points. They are. And they're figuring out ways, and they played some bad teams here, and the Colts with Phillip Rivers and missing some guys. But
and I get it. They don't have a lot of choices because they're missing so many players.
That's why this Bears game, I think, is a huge measuring stick for both teams. This is a chance for the Bears to beat a team that has been in the dance pretty often, and a chance for the Niners to say, yeah, we beat some bad teams, but we can also beat the good teams too. So it's going to be a good one. Ramsey, let's get into a little bit of prop talk here before we get on out of here. Can Whitey Gleason stay red hot?
By the way, did you throw Ramsey under the bus for
just quickly,
Jonathan Taylor?
Just quickly at the beginning. Just quickly at the beginning. That was it. Because it was very clear, because they did the same thing against Bijan. They did the same exact thing, and I think it was Kirk Cousins. No, it was Penix at that point.
Oh, it was Penix. I was at the game.
Yeah, it was Penix at that point, and, they just said, hey, it doesn't matter what else is going on. You will not beat us today, sir. And Alec Pierce, have a day. Have a day. All right, Whitey. I don't like this game at all. I'm going to tell you that much right now. The line was 8.5 this morning. I don't see any reason why it would have changed too much. They got Cade at 27. He's coming off a game Ramsey was reminding us he almost got kicked out of. This is one of the situations where, are you going to need 27 from Cade? He better be at 20 by halftime.
Do you know that they now have 3 players in the new Ringer Top 100? The Pistons.
The Pistons do.
Yeah.
Cade.
And then they have Jalen Duren, and then they have Oscar Thompson.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking here, Whitey. You got to be careful here because it's kind of your turn, my turn. Dennis Schroeder, 21 points 2 games ago, then 24. His turn is up.
Revenge game. It's the revenge game.
It is? Oh, my goodness. Revenge game. And this is all kind of skewed because they went to overtime last game, but I know we got to go quick here. Man, I don't like any of these. Give me Precious Achiuwa. He was hot and then cooled off. Give me Precious Achiuwa 6 points. I'm going to keep it simple, man.
All right, I'll take Keegan. Points, rebounds, steals.
Okay, points, rebounds, steals. Who you got, Ramsey?
Give me whatever Cade's at, points, rebounds, and assists. Give me the over.
42.5.
Give it to me.
Okay, last game, obviously. He hasn't hit the last 2 games, but he, got the text in the game before. They're winning games, so they're doing it either way. Thank you so much, Ramsey.
And again, I'm taking it. Everybody knows I'm a Kings fan, but when you play like this, you got to be smart. Who cares what team it is?
I hear you. Thank you again, Ramsey. A great job as always. Whitey Gleason and
Merry
Jay Johnson
Christmas, Alan.
coming up. Merry Christmas, Whitey. Oh, great job to you, Whitey. Oh yeah, I'm not going to see you again. So a great job to you, Whitey. I will see you in the new year. Thank you to the callers, texters, sack chatters. Thank you to Hunter Patterson of The Athletic. Thank you to Brendan Nunez and Chris Watkins. Until next week, secure the bag like the meme.
Like the meme.
You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. If you reppin' that Kings like the beam now.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go. How this thing really goes.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. And next day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep